and all to tonight's episode of Ask Me Anything or Say Something Funny, where we put the question to our supporters to either ask one of us something or give us their best one-liner. You can send those questions or jokes via super chats, channel memberships, or Patreon support, though every subscriber and viewer is welcome to join in on the fun. So won't you join James W. and myself, Amy Newman, for some Halloweeny fun? Ooh, very spooky. Thank you all, and please don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe out there on those inner tubes.
Happy Halloween! It is officially Happy Halloween in our time
everyone.
zone.
Woo!
Yes.
Pagan holidays. But yes. Don't forget, if you're on there on the Twitchosphere, to follow, or on the YouTubes to subscribe so that you can join our live streams like What Is Up, Big Bad Mama, and Caterpillar, and X Music, and Beamsy, and Matasaro, and James Wolfe. Woohoo! What's up, James? What is up,
hey,
Michael
James.
Smith?
Hey guys. Big Bad Mama.
Skyworks, what is up, all of you completely deist? Woohoo!
Back to deist again.
You know what? Deist, Buddhist, I'll take whatever, because my joke is always, it's just that line. If we can get people to that line. Because it's the Abrahamic religions that
hey, Regos.
What is up, Regos? Tend to do the most damage, though all the religions are kind of silly. Shout out to the lurkers. What's up, Spooky? Spooky, this is like your birthday. I mean, what a spooky Halloween.
Well, there you go.
But yes, welcome one and all to this Ask Me Anything or Say Something Funny, the show where we are going to take questions or one-liners from super chats, channel members, or Patreons. However, we're going to be talking to everyone, just the shit about different subjects, and having a great Halloween. So yeah. With that, let the fun begin. How are you doing tonight, James? Are you ready for a very spooky... I hate...
I actually am ready, yeah.
Our bodies are ready. I have a lot of candy.
Do you?
I have a lot
you guys get a lot of trick-or-treaters?
We get a decent amount. I think people get proportional to the amount of decorations they have, because it signals like, come to the house, we're giving out free candy. So we decorate it decently.
You guys decorate a lot,
yeah. I will say the funny thing about being an atheist and being secular is that I like holidays. Like, acknowledging that none of this has anything to do with anything other than having fun, it somehow makes it way better. It's why I'm eventually going, when it gets its month per month, when Christmas and Hanukkah and all those Kwanzaa and everything, I can celebrate all that because it's fun. It's I'll celebrate any holiday that says not to cut down a tree and decorate it, because I'd love to cut down a tree and then decorate it. Sounds like a great time.
So how many times today would you say you've been asked if you're going to be dressing up as a woman for Halloween this year?
Oh my. Yes, I would say not only am I going to be doing that for this Halloween, but I finally got your, you have had this joke, like we're just getting the kids right on hormones.
Oh, right.
I have I've never had that joke flow from me except within the past week, when someone was just like, you're trying to get children on all these kids, 5,
Puberty
6.
blockers.
And I'm like, that's, why would you do something that old? We need to get kids either in the womb right as they come out of the room, you just hook them up. I feel like that's the only way to do it.
In pregnancy, we should probably start injecting it in through the placenta to the mother.
And like I said, only estrogen, because that's the bad type of tranny that they care about.
Lots of estrogen, yeah. Massive doses.
As the West should be. But yes, sending love to God equals the square root of -1 and X music out there. E-Way. Oh my goddess, that's so funny. Look at that. Yo.
What's that?
And sending love completely whatever. He said the EA doll, and I'm supposed to not even be showing stuff, but we can talk about it. I get it. I actually completely, because what they do over there is a mix of harassment and love bombing. It's kind of like they berate you. It's the same as presuppositionalists. They'll berate you for asking questions. And then once they have berated you into submission, you are ready for their knowledge. And so that tends to be their tactic. You have to come in there like a lawyer, because they're going to grill you on what the word is. And
get you so deep into these philosophical word salads that you don't know what's right, left, up, or down anymore.
James, everything has a cause. Come on. If everything has a cause, well, I mean, then there must be something that doesn't have a cause. That makes sense.
Oh,
right?
Would that happen to be your deity, Allah?
Yes.
Well, yeah, specifically if you want to mention that, but we don't even need to talk about that yet. Just say everything has to have a cause. Take your shahada, eat a toad in the hole, and you'll be fine.
Ah, that's right. Just become a revert.
Yeah, revert back to Islam. Speaking of that, we have a video that's on deck coming up.
That's right.
Another video that there are no such thing as atheists. We don't exist. Another one of those. Yeah.
Which I always love those sort of claims where you can't even be an atheist. You know God exists. You're just denying it.
It's like, well, I mean, God's like, well, you don't believe I exist? Well, I don't believe you exist. So you know what all you atheists need to do? You need to come into existence and accept Christianity so that you can exist, right?
Exactly. You also, didn't you know that you need Christianity, or I guess insert Islam, for intelligibility? That sounds intelligible, doesn't it?
Nothing else makes sense without it. Yeah.
Which really makes no sense. I want to know, get me, Rabbi coming back from the dead, get me how to get a Wendy's cheeseburger. Logically speaking, how do I get from the driveway into Wendy's and back again using Jesus?
Asking a rabbi for a cheeseburger isn't the right approach, being that is an abomination to God. So, I mean, maybe asking him for a kosher deli sandwich might be a better way to start.
Isn't it funny how God has a dietary plan? He's got to have a really set list. He's into Atkins. It's his new thing.
don't you remember when he was giving over his uniforms for his priest, and he was like micromanaging every button and patch and color, and I mean, he was going full out Michael Kors on designing these uniforms for his priest. He was going crazy with Amy's famous
What's up, Titan?
Curious Girdle, if you remember.
Oh my!
Remember
Honestly,
girdle,
the fact that I remember the mercy seat, I remember the curious girdle. I feel like I'm not kink shaving Yahweh. It's just I feel like he should, just come out and say what he's into.
Well, now that you mention it, he is 9 out of 10 dentist. I mean, makes it vehemently known how much he hates gay people, but I mean, seems like he's projecting because all his uniforms, his interior decorating, rules and regulations. Yeah. His demand that no man
said
enter the temple with a deformed testicle. Like they have to be perfectly intact to enter his temple, if you remember.
Oh, when you enter into the temple, you have to have a perfect temple down there, if you get what I mean.
There you go. Fully advanced.
And we're going to read out as many jokes and things as we can say. However, if you want your question specifically shown on screen, then we're going to not only be looking for super chats, but if you are a Patreon, you can sign up at patreon.com/Amy Newman, the best way to help us make more fun content. Or we actually have another way for you to trigger a creationist, and that is by becoming a member. Right down below, and by hitting that join button, you will be getting our evolving badge system, which naturally just evolves over time. Doesn't matter what tier you are, it just kind of accumulates.
Kind of accumulates, yeah.
Kind of accumulates. Are they on right now, the EA Dawa chat? I swear I'm going to break. I told myself I was never going to go on there again because of like the accusations against him. But he's not in jail. Does that mean that doesn't mean he didn't do it, actually? Because I look at Ken Hovind. But I look at Smokey. Smokey disappeared to get all together.
This system operates like a snail on Xanax. It operates so slow.
That is also true.
It can take years for these cases to work their way through.
It also always seems like this is now just completely, but like the minor trivial in things they throw the book at, and they're very quick to get there, and then like the corporate crimes, the things that or things that are out of people's sight and mind, we tend to take our good old time judging those people.
In most cases where there's a public defender, so you got 3 people, a prosecutor, a judge, and a public defender, all collecting checks from the state, just badmintoning these motions back and forth to each other for years, collecting checks the whole time. They really don't, in many cases, have any incentive to actually move with any type of expeditious speed. It's just whenever we get to it, when we're good and ready. And
our good old time.
Whenever we're good and ready, that's when we'll go to court.
Now, like I said, I can't help it because Big Bad Mom is sending in so much love. I'm not gonna. We're gonna stay true to our supporters and not show it on screen. But I have to say, do you know what killed the man who had a 2-ton pumpkin fall on him? He was squashed.
Although that is saying something funny, so that's technically
sure. Well, yes, it is. It's asked me. That's actually what we're asking. Is we're really looking for one-liners. I have been working on when they say comedy is timing, it really is true. It's about building up that tension and getting it as tense as you can before you come in and cut it. It's fantastic. Happy Halloweeny, rockin' Woodworks.
Hey, happy Halloween.
So this is a fantastic question. Completely, DS. He's asking which would you choose, Islam or Judaism? That is an Islamic apologetic. All right, what they want to do is they want to like separate out. They're like, Christianity's clearly, I mean, a guy
The
coming
Trinity.
back from the dead.
The Trinity,
the
1,
and he
3,
is his
he's
own
3 and
son.
he's 1. Yeah.
So why don't we clearly put what we've been batting away for like hours over here? And come on, the intellectuals are the Jews over here, and then there's us. The plan that we're trying to sell over here. And so sure, we gotta somehow like we love what's going on with the Jews over here, and they have the Adam and the Eve, and they have Moses and Noah. Sending so much love, Big Bad Mama, and just let me wrap this up, and we're and so their shtick, the shtick is Islam or Judaism, because it's not a choice. They're not the choice isn't Islam or Judaism, so pick Judaism. That's not how the end of that conversation goes. The conversation goes, how can I get you over to Islam? Can you tell me? And I'll absolutely, but hold on one second. Sending so much love from Big Bad Mama, who's sending love right back to us. Woohoo! Thank you so very much for the love and support. This show is a once-a-month love letter to our supporters who have been sending so much love to us back. That includes our Super Chats, Patreons, channel members, but also our subscribers, our viewers, the whole Skeptic and Ranting community. So we are here, and one of the two of us is queer.
And we did get a question from a
That's right,
Patreon.
from James Wolfe is asking, and James is in everything. He's a Patreon, a channel member. He helps me do laundry on Tuesdays. Why haven't we been visited by aliens? We get bad reviews, only 1 star. Damn it. If we had more than just the sun. Here. I like it.
Right. Go and do your rare earth exposition.
That's right. Well, I mean, it is. James is bringing up I love to do my Fermi paradox shtick, which is because it's a good point.
Rare earth explanation is the one
because
to go with.
both. So the Fermi paradox, for those who don't know, is why aren't we being? Why haven't aliens reached out to us? Because it seems like life formed right away when it could on this planet. The planet was just like boom, and then within I'm trying to think, under 100,000 years of very early on, it started. And it seems like abiogenesis may have actually happened multiple times. So it seemed like life really wanted to happen here.
It did.
And so why, if life really wanted to happen here, why have, and all this time has passed by, why haven't we been visited? And so what James is speaking about, why I would say, so rare, life probably is rare. But rare events happen all the time. And so there's, because of the universe is so big, there's lots of pockets all over with life. However, it's really hard to solve that Fermi paradox. In fact, dare I say, the thing that I point out is we ourselves cannot expect another species to solve the Fermi paradox if we cannot solve the Fermi paradox. In other words, we have not been able to go further than our own moon in terms of like manned ships. And so like It would have to be. It would have to be a species not only almost as good as us, not only on par,
Right.
it would have to be a species that actually is technologically more superior to solve the Fermi paradox.
Oh, the Milky Way is one of the oldest galaxies that we know of. I think it formed not maybe 1 to 2 billion years after the Big Bang, and the Earth has been around for 4 billion years. So that means the Milky Way has been floating around for like 8 billion years before our solar system even formed. So it's definitely conceivable that there could be civilizations out there much older than we are, much more advanced. Um, a lot of times they talk
Oh
about
yeah.
like they talk about like great filters, like what is that the major hurdles that a race would have to overcome and to
There could be civilizations that have risen and fallen that
fallen.
have
Yeah,
been more technologically sophisticated and just didn't match the bar of the Fermi paradox. They had the ability to actually go out there and do space channel and maybe politics. Maybe there was a bunch of people that were just like, why even go out there? And so not saying it's impossible. I just want to emphasize how friggin' big the bar is. And so that may be why we have not been visited by aliens, especially intelligent life. But thank you so much for the joke, James Wolfe. Woohoo! And welcome on board.
maybe
We're having fun.
I think one of the more interesting explanations could be that once civilization became so intelligent, they would realize that they could simulate a simulated reality could be infinitely better than a real reality. So they would all upload themselves into a simulator instead of living out in this reality that we live in. So they could have just trillions of Matrix style pods. Maybe like 10% of their population is out at any one time, and then they go back in. But it's just much more fiction is in some ways better than reality.
I mean,
but that doesn't. I don't think every
I can't
civilization
disprove
would do
the
that.
simulation hypothesis. I would say that there would just have to be a base reality somewhere. That's my only asterisk that I always add.
Well, I don't mean like the universe is a simulation. I just mean that
sure, you mean someone could just have
their
almost like a hibernation type of pod type of
like
thing, just live in there.
Like a MMORPG that is actually reality, like you just live your life in a simulator.
What Zuckerberg wants but cannot achieve.
Right. Yeah. It would be better than the real world, but I don't think every
he should have just bought
fall down that track.
He should have just bought Linden Labs, just sending love to Linden Labs who makes Second Life, and they would have been like, we could probably give you some tips on some things that you could walk over here. How I got into graphic design, honestly, a lot of Second Life, because Second Life allows you to own your own property and your own land,
digital
and
property,
then allow you your own stores. And so I would set up a store, and you'd create billboards, kind of like you create early Photoshop and GIMP and stuff. And I would create signs and then make 3D models and then texture them. They have a set, unlike a regular 3D model, you create a texture map. So where it's almost like you set out where you want the texture to lay down, but in Second Life it has to be one way. But you learn that one way, and then you can branch out to any other game and stuff like that. It's actually knowledgeable in some of the things you can learn from that game. But I like Turtles too, Xanos. Welcome on board. We are asking me anything or say something funny. Keep on saying those questions, jokes, comments, whatever you got. It's really more of a comment, really. Like Big Bad Mama says, why did Headless Horseman start his own business? To get ahead in life. But also, just to finish up
Johnny Depp
on that point, I want to go all the way back, because I want to help out completely here. Saying that that Khalil is nice, that doesn't surprise me because, his shtick was I used to be the empathetic atheist. Hopefully he becomes an empathetic whatever he was. I've always had good conversations with him when I was on there. I think they get frustrated with me. But
he's easy to trigger. Every time I go in with like a sock account, he always gets really triggered.
Well, I feel like he gets frustrated when atheists don't buy the shtick that he got sold on. And yet, I mean, in our community, Kalam is not that powerful.
If you've been an atheist for any length of time and you've never pondered those questions before, if you're just blown away by, hey, why is there something rather than nothing? We don't know. If that just blows you away, I mean, have you really been an atheist if you've never encountered those conundrums before?
And completely, I want to challenge their core. Think about what they're setting up when they say Judaism versus Islam. I know you wanted me to talk about Judaism a little. You could also talk. James has a mixed experience with Judaism. And so when they make that decision, they're actually building in a fundamentalist view. Because what they're saying is, what version of Adam and Eve, what version of Noah, what version of prophethood and supernatural events are you going to believe? We're accepting both of them. One of these have to be true. It's just how many prophets we're now going to accept, because the Jews have, a half dozen, not more prophets that lived and died. And then you get your final prophet. But to even be a deist, deism and Buddhism to me are really just straddling the line. Deism is far away removed to me from even Judaism and Islam, because it's saying that this God cannot interact in the physical world, and thus I'm not going to believe in a interactive deity until such evidence arrives. And it kind of, in my opinion, cuts at the heel of the question, because they come at it very deistically in their argumentation, and yet their actual pinpoint is not very deist. A Muslim God is not a very deistic God. Muslim, Christian gods, and small gods. Well, I would actually say it's backwards. The Jewish God is a small g God. In fact, what I would say is the Jews...
In the original iteration.
Yes.
When he was polytheist.
The Jews kind of their shtick was look, we know there are other gods out there, but this is our God. And this is the God.
There are many like him, but this one is ours.
Yes, exactly. And so it almost has the roots of showing the transition between a polytheistic to a monotheistic religion. In fact, that is the key, is Judaism, between polytheism and monotheism. The concept of hell and all this, there's maybe some inspiration, they lightly talk about lower D demons and devils and things like that, but there's no Satan, there's no forever torture. These types of things at least don't get lined out really clearly until either the gospel or the Quran.
You get the devil in the book of Job. He starts to make appearances, but is very, very vague about him. They don't get super specific until much later. But I mean, this is the key. When you're reading the Bible in order, the books, it's not the chronological order they were written in. These were a lot of later additions that were inserted here to explain different things. Yeah, El Most High, El Elyon, El Shaddai. He was a Canaanite deity that he evolved, and he became the war god of...
So not just here, but actually up here.
the Most High, Amy. Listen.
Most High, right up here.
How high? High. How high does he want to be? Yes. Yes.
But also, what I'll say about Jewish prayers, one, there's no set, like, EST, PM, like 5 times, like 3 times, 1 times.
They just pray a lot for random things throughout the day.
Yes. Well, and you would also do specific prayers as sun goes down Friday night, as it becomes Shabbat.
There's a hand washing prayer and prayers for this, prayers for that.
All sorts of, yes. Also, if you're
prayer
about to have anal, then you can have a different washing. And yes, and for the food. And
you have to avoid that finger with your tefillin wrapping, because that finger is what you like yourself with.
Oh my. And then the other thing, and I don't know if every synagogue is like this.
Did they teach you how to wrap tefillin in Hebrew school?
Is that where you wrap
the leather things around the arm?
Yes, or things like that. We had to wrap books.
With a box on your head.
All that. I don't know if that sounds interesting. I don't know if I learned boxing. Did we learn some?
There's like a square that they sometimes wear on their forehead.
I know that we have mezuzahs. On the walls. You need to kiss the mezuzah, which makes no sense.
Torah scroll in there.
Yes, and so they have a thing that's inside of it.
Little scroll.
But my friend and I learned, Jonathan and I, sending love to Jonathan if he's out there in the interwebs, that if we got locked, if we had left the bathroom on certain prayers in the main hall, they would lock the doors on certain holy prayers, so no one could leave or join.
Couldn't be interrupted.
Yes, those prayers could not be interrupted. I have no idea if that's a Jewish thing.
Dishonored.
Yes, but we learned that was a great time to leave right before those prayers, and then we'd be like, "Oh no, we can't enter.
I have to go pee.
We're gonna have to just be stuck outside now."
Can you hold it? We're going to pray for like 30 minutes. I'm sorry, I can't hold it.
But that's okay, ladies.
I guess
I'll
just wait in the hallway.
We luckily had Walkmen and Game Boys, and so we figured out something to do in the meantime by the grace of their God.
The case.
I feel like I'm gonna start going on those streams. We're about to be doing loading up impromptu debate you. I'm very excited, which is just going to be Discord.
Go back on there, give it to Khalil. He probably.
I see them doing their shtick, and like it's painful to me because it's like. Just like with an apologetics channel, if I can't debate on an apologetics channel, it's painful to me because I feel like they're spreading misinformation. Now, I get it. They believe that, yes, now they believe it's the total truth. I want them to be able to, say whatever they want. Is Judaism truth? There we go. And the answer to that would be emphatically no. Like that's the key. If Adam and Eve are not real, if there is no Noah and Moses,
no Abraham,
none of these
Isaac,
guys,
no Joe
not
DiMaggio,
only is there no Judaism,
no Charlton Heston,
and I know the Muslims already yeeted Christianity, but there then would be no Islam.
Or Christianity.
Why do Jews get circumschmizzled? Because they are a desert tribe of people who did random back in the day.
Basically, God was like, he was making his people, and he realized that he meant to cut the foreskin off the human penis when he was intentionally designing the human genome. And he couldn't stand the look out of it from his people because he didn't want his people to have penises that look like elephant trunks. It just bugged him out, so he made him cut it off. I mean, he already.
But that's okay. We got a
was
solution,
detailed.
ladies and gentlemen. We're ready. Bring him on.
So, I mean,
Bring
he
on the
could
children.
just go and redesign it so it wouldn't be on there. It's already there. So,
It feels
hey,
religious.
I guess they're just going to have to take a sharp rock and hack it off.
That's true. James, I'm being barbaric.
Oh, like when
Now bring on the children.
Moses' wife circumcised his son and then threw the foreskin at his feet and said, "Thou art a bloody husband to me," because he made her do that to their son.
Listen, you got to do what you got to do. When you're being holy and moly. What is up, Command Cyborg? Woo! Hello, world. Boom, 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 boom. I just realized we didn't do shout-outs. We should do shout-outs in a second. We flew over.
Yeah.
We're sending love out there. What is up, Command Cyborg? We're welcome to have you on board. We're actually asking me anything or saying something funny. We're looking for jokes and comments and questions, whatever people got on people's minds. What's up, Michael Smith? Yeah, we're sending so much love to everybody. If we didn't say hi to you before, keep on saying hi to us. Beamsy, what is up? Rabbi. Trying to see if it's a joke or not.
Making Amy stay on until we hit our threshold for the month because we haven't hit it yet for us to actually be able to get paid. So there is a cutoff. If we don't get a certain amount, then you don't get anything for that month.
We're also going to be doing, I think, a number of new content, which we think will promote a whole bunch of fun. We kept on trying to set up. I'm going to really find two people and just do a debate, me brah. We need to get back into it.
Yeah. If anybody is interested, let us know in chat because we keep talking about it, but nobody ever actually
Well, I have the sign-up sheet, but the problem was it missed the contact thing, and when I tried to implement a contact thing, no one was giving me the contact, and so I'm just gonna have to pick some people, find them, and go out there and do some love connections.
Some love bombing.
That's right. Trying to think. I guess we'll give some shout outs while we're doing that. This entire podcast, Tonight Ones, is our love letter to our supporters. All of you send it in super chats. All of our channel members who you can become a member of by joining right there, or our Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman. In fact, we're sending an extra shout out. We have a whole bunch of ways that we send in love. You can find them right down there. Boom, boom, ba-da. And here's the thing I need to say. Judaism is the thing I need to say. In Judaism, there is a heaven and hell. No. That's the thing about Judaism. In Judaism, there is no heaven or no hell. That is a Christian and a Muslim thing, mostly. I get that there's the apologetic that you can look into Judaism and you can find inspiration for it. However, most lay Jews believe when you die, that's it, or at least you die and then you're waiting until the actual Messiah comes back, and then maybe. Or, as far as we can tell,
but
Yahweh lets you die.
Jews. There are probably at least 50% of them who are atheists, and they're just cultural Jews. They don't actually believe in any of it.
Just make up whatever you want. My mom is a secular Jew, and she consistently, when she talks about her relatives, she'll be like, and I'm sure my mom is in heaven, even if there is a heaven. I'm like, even if there is a heaven, you're not supposed to believe in that at all. That's not a... which my dad doesn't talk about religion.
It's religion. It doesn't have to be real. You believe what you want. It is. That's the thing about religion.
And there's Sheol.
Greek, X music.
Yes, hell came from Zoroastrianism, and they adapted
from some of the Greek ideas, concepts. And
Did it exist before Judaism?
so,
I would
yeah.
say that it exists either
Babylon was,
alongside or it might be before. But I know that it was the first one of the first monotheists. Zoroastrianism, I do believe, is more monotheistic than Judaism. Just a different God, not the Abrahamic one. Might even be a dualistic. I have to look into. I looked it up more when I was having a debate. Spent so much time trying to pronounce Zoroastrianism. I just said, don't even think I just said it right there.
Zoroastrianism? That's how I would pronounce it. But...
Hey, that's right. That's right, Theme Z. If there is, like I said, I like to think that I'm just wearing my work uniform. When you're good on your knees,
it is monotheist.
Yeah, I really do. I think it's
God,
one of the first.
Ahura Mazda. Okay, yeah, that sounds familiar.
But it's not the Abrahamic God.
Wow.
Whereas Allah really is the translation of the Abrahamic God.
BBC
Oh, I know. That's what I was just saying.
Twitch member.
Oh, is he? Oh. Then I'm so sorry. He should have been up there. He might actually be. Yes, he is. Woo! That's right. We have Twitch membership.
Twitch members.
And that's what I was saying. This is my work uniform. Sometimes
Amy
you gotta be
all about falling to her knees in worship.
When you love your job, you never work a single day in your life. There's another religion I might follow. See, completely. I want you, baby. I want you on our team.
Come on.
There's something. I think there's actually a lot of good can be done from DS. I see Jack Burton. I see Skylar Fiction. Our founding fathers of the United States often were very deist. It is these Abrahamic religions. It's this. If you feel yourself kind of just picking and choosing, that actually may be a sign that it's not correlating with reality. That you're trying to make it fit, trying to say what would I like to be best. It's going from a descriptive universe to a prescriptive universe. You're prescribing how you want the universe to say. I'm not saying that's what you're doing. Or more maybe that's what I think traditional theists are doing.
It was like Glenn Beck, who is a Mormon. If you ever heard him talk about how he got to Mormon, because he wasn't raised a Mormon. He said, well, one day me and my wife, we sat down at the table and we said, okay, we've got to do it. We've got to pick a religion. So they went and they found one. They looked at them and they liked Mormonism.
Well, the interesting
good way to find objective truth, or is that just it sounds good, so I'm going to believe it? I don't know.
What I find is the people who make fun of the religion are often, at least on the light level, are often ill prepared. So I think we make fun of Mormonism because and someone like Dan the Materialist because of our experience with it. However, it's just like the flat earth. I think that flat earthers oftentimes come off intelligent if you weren't paying attention in high school class and it's your first time coming across them and they have they have a lot of 3-syllable words and you're like, wow, none of that made sense, but it sounded smart. And so you really have to have all these conspiracy theories. But what's up, Pookiekins? I was gifted my sub from above. All glory to God. And if this channel supports one thing, it is having as many subs as possible. We like to think that is the best thing to do.
Too many.
Yes, exactly. You can also hear my clickety clack. I wish what's it called? Stupid Horror Energy was on. Oh my! Oh!
Don't fall.
I caught it. I meant to do that. I wish I had alcohol in me to justify that. I meant to do that. I definitely meant to. Woo! But thank you, Pookiekins. That's right. Oh, not. I keep on saying not supposed to show. We actually love showing. We can't help it. We love showing and tellings. Thank you so very much, Doubting Thomas, sir. But I also
She also
love.
can clean your bathroom, or
that's right. I wanted to have a feather duster.
yeah.
I should have.
Rachel was using it.
I know exactly that, and it's I have Gavin and the iron down here, and it's so far up there that you can't see China.
Oh boy, probably looks cute with the little feathers just sticking out at the back.
It does, like a little tail.
Yeah, little feathers sticking out at the end.
They're part of the No Pants Debaters Club.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to model things out. Right?
Hey, maybe James Coons can have his next debate con at a nudist resort.
Oh my! He's about to be having debate con too.
He is, yeah. I forgot to ask if you were going to that one or.
I don't think so. He hasn't reached out to me. I may ask, but I get the feeling that he's just bringing all the A-line. He's got Matt and Ra. See, but what makes sense to me, or what makes sense to you about Judaism? Because I think Judaism is actually the linchpin of like where all this Abrahamic religion nonsense started. I mean, I love Jews. I love my family. I think they are amazing human beings. I think that the people who are anti-Semitic are degenerates. I just think that Judaism is very silly. I think the God is very silly. He's not a very nice guy. The majority of the stories did not take place. You know, Adam and Eve, Noah, Moses, the Tower of Babel. Prophets don't exist.
Now,
trying to find something good about Judaism. He lets you die. He lets you die, folks.
It's more coherent than Christianity because, well, Christianity, they had to start with it. They had to change a lot of stuff to kind of rework a lot of Jewish doctrine. And
completely deist. You can't really mean that. I can't tell. Like, one of the reasons that I dislike the Jewish God is because of how vengeful he is, how wrathful, jealous. I mean, he's basically a D-bag. He's not the type of God that you would want to be real. No, he's not the type of, he's not even a good like guy you'd want as a friend.
I mean,
I'm sorry, James. I hate to keep on cutting you off.
You're good. Yeah, y'all remember that flood and the genocide that he committed? I guess it's okay because he's God. But, you know, when humans do that, that would be bad. That would be cruel. When God does it, it's good. When humans do it, it's bad. I guess we got to do what he says, not what he does.
The friendly atheist. That sounds so familiar. But like, really, the Jewish God is a horrible God. He's one of the worst. And the Muslim God is a modification of that. It's not that much better, if sometimes worse, because it makes hell. It goes from bad to worse.
Only this Jewish God, like we all love, I think, those of us who work full time, who have worked, at least understand the concept of work, understand that a day off is something really nice. It's nice you work a few days and then you have a day where you don't have to go to work. But only the Jewish God, this Yahweh guy, would take something wholesome and good and like ice cream and turn it into something just diabolical and evil and just scary. Like it's be something that you're executing people over picking up sticks. And he can't say that, oh, well, that's what his followers did. That's not what he would have done. Because no, the Bible says he came down and he said he shall surely be put to death for picking up the sticks. And I mean, should we punish someone picking up sticks on the wrong day the same way
Probably
we would punish a murderer or a rapist or people who commit much more heinous crimes? It's yeah.
See, but I also agree that the Christian God is scary. I mean, I think hell is a
Definitely.
scary concept. But my question would be, name something. Jewish, Muslim, like, give me a passage, a trait, something that makes him a good guy.
I mean,
Because
he killed a city full of gay people because they did not want to rape two virgin girls that Lot had. Because I guess that would have been the moral thing for them to do, would be to leave the two stud muffin angels alone and just take his virgin daughters,
leave Yahweh alone.
13 or 14-year-old daughters, and rape them. I guess that would have been the more moral thing to do, but they didn't do that. They wanted the guys in there, so God killed them all. It's just very, yeah.
And keep on sending in, once again, those comments, questions, or one-liners. We're going to keep on just talking about whatever. But I can't help it because this is a Muslim apologetic. It's how they sell you. I swear to you, I've gone on that channel, on the Thought Adventure podcast, on Hazma's Den. This is all their shtick. There's one. I feel like there's someone else, but
he endorses slavery repeatedly, even for children, even permanent slavery
from the nations around you.
Nations around you. He endorses beating your slaves with rods, and if they die a couple days later,
no they're not.
No foul.
They have a specific mentality completely. And that is, when you disagree with them, they will berate you. They will make you feel unintelligent. They will, for even asking questions. And then what they will do is, the moment that you become submissive, the moment that you start just accepting them as teacher and you as student, they turn on the love. And you become love bombed. And all of a sudden, it's very simple. They find your way to that last
very
prophet.
Manipulative.
Oh yeah.
It's like berating a child, and then the child says, "I'm so sorry, mommy or daddy," and then they're willing to accept what the parent says. They're.
But I want to help. Let me just help you one last thing on completely.
Help
her, yes. And it's probably not going to be the last thing. But in a secular way, I want you to Google traits of someone who just interacted with a narcissist. Like, what is I'm trying to put it into a sentence. Because what a narcissist will do, this is what Smokey would do as well, is that until he disappeared, is that they kind of, in a cloud of smoke,
he
no longer allowed from Chuck E. Cheese. Big Bad Mama says, what is your favorite part of... What is a vampire's favorite part of sex? Eradicalculating. What is your take on Muhammad?
Getting a lot of interaction here. Completely DS.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. I can't help myself. Are you talking about? I'll keep on. And I'll keep on asking anyone's questions. Once again, we're not going to show any on screen unless you are a super chatter, a Patreon or channel member, because once again, this is dedicated to them. However, we're just here to talk to everybody.
To even get paid for the month.
That's right, baby. So keep on sending in that love.
We are gonna.
And
we definitely appreciate the support we get. from our Patreon channel
Exactly.
members, but I guess times are hard this month.
But what is your take on Muhammad? Oh, first of all, he's not the last prophet because prophets don't exist. I want to sell you on this point. Really, really, really. Prophets do not exist. There is no one who is a middleman for God. There is no one who is going to be a conduit, a messenger that's going to be your one-on-one with a higher power, as far as I can tell.
There wouldn't need to be, really. I mean, if there was a God, he would be able to communicate. You wouldn't have to trust mortal human beings. I mean, he could just communicate with people. He did it in the Old Testament a lot. We've read several times where he himself came down and talked to people. And,
that's right. Joseph Smith was the last prophet. Well, the funny thing about Joseph Smith, or Elon Musk, funny thing about Joseph Smith and Mormonism is they share a lot in common with Islam. They are both kind of the trilogies of the Abrahamic religions. They both want to accept kind of like they're like some of the stuff from Judaism and Christianity, they got it right, but we're retconning everything else. We know what's up. Some people don't have the superpower. That's right. You got to have a cool superpower. But, some the apologetics for Islam are also just, they love to, like, what I call, like, insult compliment their prophet. Like, do you have any idea how illiterate Muhammad was? Like, he was so illiterate. Like, not just this illiterate, but he was, like, this illiterate. And if he was this illiterate, well, then how could he have possibly have made this holy book? I mean, did we just tell you about how illiterate Muhammad was? I mean, like, super illiterate. Okay.
He's dumb as a box of rocks.
I know. And it's like... And they like to pretend. I've often, like, said, well, first of all, they'll like, don't strawman me if you say that Muhammad wrote it. We didn't say Muhammad wrote it. Okay, an angel gave it to him. I'm sorry, but that doesn't really change anything.
Angel gave it to him?
Yes, because what probably happened is he was he was a warlord or a leader, like many other historical figures. He was a leader. He had power. He had control. He was a new religious figure. And so he had scholars under his control. So the fact that he got a holy book written is not a miracle. In fact, it's not even very surprising. It is like exactly what you would expect. Now, if he wrote it, if he was illiterate and wrote an entire book, that would be impressive.
Well, he did write it, but...
Well, James, excuse me. No, that's a straw man. They'll say it came right from Gabriel's butthole. Like, he came right down.
Dictated it to Muhammad, yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other ones. They like the Kalam. They like the contingency argument, which are two different cosmological arguments for the existence of God. One deals with causality. Argument. One deals with, I guess, because they're both kind of change. One deals with what is foundation. I'm trying to use the word for, what's another word for contingent? I guess their version would be necessary. When something, you have to have something for it to do.
They're so similar. You're just looking at the same
trying
to word it in two different ways.
You need firewood to have a fire. Yeah. The fire is contingent on something to be burning, and so we would.
It basically all draws down to why is there something rather than nothing. At the root, when you dig through all the bullshit, that at the end is like, Why is there something rather than nothing? You don't know, therefore God. That really is like the end of it.
So you say Muhammad inspires me. What do they say? What's their good thing? I always wonder because I have such a negative view of Joseph Smith and L. Ron Hubbard, but there has to be positive views on them. So, like,
People who think they were great
what?
guys. Yeah.
Like, give it to me. What about him inspires you? And I'm not even like you could feel like the almost condescension. I hate that you like I can almost feel it in my voice
No,
because
it's appropriate.
well, I don't want to be like
It's not
them.
your style, though. It's not your style.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, and I don't think our chat berates people either. I feel like our chat kind of leans on kind of a comedic edge, which I kind of like.
Muhammad, he was kind of like a warlord.
He was. I mean, when you're a kid, you're
he
going out
spread
there
his
taking
religion
over
by
territory.
the sword. I mean,
now once again,
which is not that different from like Old Testament Christianity, but I
was
guess
going to say there were Anglo-Saxons, there were Africans. Like being a conqueror, it's pretty human. That's not our problem. Sure. It's just that it doesn't fare well as being like the missionary of God, I guess.
Like, I guess I would say from a militaristic standpoint, I guess Genghis Khan could be inspirational, but I wouldn't consider him to be a humanitarian. I wouldn't consider him to be somebody you would want to emulate. I mean,
and let us just put like the big asterisk on here that neither of us think Christianity is either true or that I was going to add a double negative. We think it's not true and we both think it's silly. So what they normally do once we have been attacking Islam for this long is they normally retreat to attacking Christianity. And all I can say to that is that's our job. Okay. That should be us. Now I know that they spend, I mean, there was a month or two, not that I would be lurking, but like where he only did inviting Christians on. And I think that's purposeful. Where if you only invite Christians and atheists if that's because I think Khalil was gone also for a little bit, and his buddies aren't that really like attuned to the Kalam and other arguments that kind of aim for pantheist deists, atheists, agnostics.
Come on, computer. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Hey, speaking of Muslims, what's up, computer? But
Michael Smith, I would say I agree with you, Michael Smith, in that. That's why I'm a moral relativist, so I don't necessarily think we can judge people in the past the same way like we would judge people today, because people are products of their environment and time in which they live. That being said, though, I still would have a hard time saying I find them somebody inspirational or worthy of emulation.
I'm going to keep on going back. So it's Muhammad protected people and forbid alcohol and promoted modesty. So protected people, sure, he did protect his people, but he also conquered people. So he was at multiple times the person that people needed protection from, which doesn't bode well.
But hey, he was tribalistic. He was good for his people.
He forbid alcohol, another completely Muslim apologetic. That's their big thing. No alcohol.
And let me tell you, I mean, what effect has that had? Is there any Muslim theocracy that you would want to live in that you think has a better standard of living than any Western country?
I would ask, can you pick a country that forbids alcohol that you think Somalia has done good results?
You will struggle to find a drop of alcohol in Somalia, and it's a hellhole. That's not
Saudi
to disparage
Arabia,
the people, Saudi Arabia, and
hey, do you know what I learned about?
There's a lot of reasons for it, but it doesn't seem like the Islam is helping the situation.
Random tangent: if all the stands are in one section, I call it Stanistan. That's my new thing. If you ever hear a country that ends in Stan, it's in what I call Stanistan. All these countries all have the last name Stan, and there's no other countries that do. Pakistan, Kazakhstan, they're all in Stan. I was just looking at the map the other, randomly getting into geography and other subjects that I didn't really care about when I was younger. And what was the last one? There was another one, and then modesty. So I sometimes like modesty. I think there's sometimes a need to be modest. You'll often see me not showing a lot of skin. I like to call what I call modest sexy, which is that I sometimes don't show a lot of skin mostly because I like to be warm, but I like it to be form-fitting and trendy and, nice looking and things like that. However, I sometimes like to be a little bit sexy. I like to, sometimes dress up and have a little bit of fun and show a little bit of skin and prance around.
Well,
and, Islam doesn't always allow that.
You've explained before that, when you transition, you go through the stages, kind of like how you go through, you're going through puberty again, but as a woman.
Oh, yeah. No, you completely go through all of the stages. I lost a friend. I had 2 sets of friends, and I lost one of my best friends because on MySpace, I was pasting. They were all legal. I mean, the equivalent of bikini pics. But I was pacing for someone who knew me as a bro, as a dude. It was very risque. I probably wouldn't post those pictures at the time. I mean, they're not, once again, nothing that I couldn't be caught on the beach for,
you might be a little
in California.
Now.
But it's not something that I post to my Facebook as much as, or whatever, because I still like posting cute pictures and stuff. But you change, you evolve. And so, that person eventually came a decade later. They apologized for the way that they acted, and wouldn't say we're friends again because I don't think I've talked to them since. But I do know that they've actually changed
you don't
their
have,
view.
Active animosity.
Exactly. 2 sets of friends. Yes, I didn't even know what those 2 sets of friends are. I had a set of Jewish friends and a set of non-Jewish friends. I did not know that until I was way older, because I met
friends from Hebrew
I
school.
I had Jonathan and Derek, who were both Jewish. Derek didn't go to the same Hebrew school as I did, but we were both all of us were Jews. And then John did go to the same Hebrew school as me. And then I had Shane. Oh no,
the skeptic.
Well, I did have Shane, the skeptic. No. He's Shane and David are 2 separate people over here. But my 2. Then I had Mike and Sean, who were my 2. I worked at Cold Stone Creamery together. We did a bunch of improv, almost somewhere between a Jackass and a Impractical Jokers. I kind of did that my entire childhood, kind of like middle school and high school. That was kind of my shtick. It's why it's not so surprising that I'm sitting here doing improv now, and I hope to do so in the future, if not so even more.
Comedy's always been your thing.
It has been. I can't help it. What is a term? There's a term for it, Amy. I'm trying. Fish. Okay. Scariest things for me is my own self, because I know that I'm always grateful. I'm super ridiculous. Trying to figure out a term here. What you're saying, Michael Smith, but sends in love. Big Bad Mama says, "What it's like to be what? Now remember that? What's it like to be kissed by a vampire? It's a pain in the neck."
There you go.
Sending that love right back to Big Bad Mama and a doubting Thomas. Should I be Buddhist or Hindu? You should be a Buddhist. I'm putting that on the table. Like, you should be deist
Less
or Buddhist.
theistic.
Well,
less theistic, then you can do it.
A Buddhist can come with some bullshit like that I don't agree with, like reincarnation and stuff. However, the Buddha says some okay things, and they don't have gods.
Yeah, I mean,
and so
they do worship Buddha. He's not. I guess he's not like a deity, but he is kind of like a quasi deity, I guess.
Sure.
To a lesser degree.
And so, and I mean, and deist is a fantastic choice too, because a deist is just.
Or you can just give up the theist altogether. But
Well,
if you're
I
not
would
ready
say,
for that,
yeah. I feel like until you can actively defend deism or Buddhism, you wouldn't want to wear the atheist or agnostic label, because I can feel you're on the fence right now. And I would say when I go on there, once again, I'm patting myself on the back, but like I feel the ratio per atheist to theist, I would say 3 to 4 theist per atheist is a good ratio. And once again, maybe I'm just like batting our own butter here, but
butter in your own bread.
Butter in our own bread. But I feel perfectly capable because it just feels like when you have the truth, it doesn't matter what they send at you. And this is probably the edgiest thing I've said tonight. When you have the truth, man, I got the truth. But when you're a skeptic, when you're just there not to believe in bullshit, it doesn't matter what they send at you. You can just keep on swinging all day. What's it like being a succubus? It's a pain in the back.
What's it like to bang a succubus?
Yeah. Oh my. You can figure that out later tonight, folks. Whoever wants to join me. Rachel and I, we're offering threesomes whenever you're ready. Do. The Edgelord of Truth. That's right, Doorknob Head. And what's up, Doorknob? Because I'll tell you, completely deist, if you are a deist, those channels, like a lot of their heavy-hitting arguments are actually deistic arguments. Like you could just give into. Like the Kalam should not faze you at all. Like they should make the Kalam and you're like, yep, everything has a cause. It's the creator that doesn't interact with everything. It's the necessary being that we cannot interact with. And then they should now have to prove Islam. They should now have to prove Judaism 3.0. They should now have to prove miracles and prophets. And in fact, what you should do is check out the Quran. Can I tell you the most powerful thing I did to not being Muslim? I read a chapter or two of the Quran. I recommend the second chapter of the Quran. I believe it's the cow. The heifer is the second, because the first is so fucking short. It's like a paragraph. I once said I read the first chapter, and they're like, that's not the first. But then the cow is the second. But then read the ant. Like just if you can read the ant, because that's the name of the chapter, get through the beginning of the ant to the end, and you don't completely bust out laughing, then be a Muslim. But like if you can't get through there and like you think that shit should be on like an SNL video, then Islam may not be for you. Because like not only does Solomon talk to ants, he gives them commands. He's watching them about their day. The ants are having like I know. Oh my, that's much later. That's the late night Solomon show. Late night with Solomon.
The Ken Hovind edition.
The Ken Hovind edition.
Having sex with ants.
But like, they don't talk about the Quran on the Thought Adventure podcast or Hasma may himself. Hasma's a conspiracy theorist because he'll sit there and tell you all day that the reason that he can believe the Quran is because when we believe in the moon landing, it's the same thing. Woohoo! That's right. Woohoo! Gonna make that into a t-shirt. We have new emojis about to be put in. I know I've been saying that, but I have been putting in Gizmo and we've been working side by side. We have so much fun new graphics content coming out that's going to be make new shows. It's gonna make the badges, the memberships, whether you're on YouTube or Twitch, even better. Straight, I'm a disbeliever. I have to learn more about Buddhism. I only know a little bit. Just like I've been
is it
recently
Speed of
learning
Sound
about
who is
Pantheism.
like quasi-Buddhist or?
I wouldn't even say quasi. He is a Buddhist. Speed of Sound, and so you could be, in fact. So even as a Buddhist, you can identify. Well, I would say you are an atheist at that point. You may be a deist Buddhist, maybe. But if you are saying you're a Buddhist, it's almost just a religious atheist, which we like. I mean,
like Biddy Buddha's the little thing she's doing now.
Biddy Buddha. Yes, she would call herself a spiritual agnostic.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, on this channel, we are as big as 10 as possible. It is the exact. We're not trying to go for the exact opposite.
You don't want to be told what to believe.
Well,
but that's fine. It's at the end of the day, it's fine.
I understand the need for like the metaphorical term of spiritual. Like when you want that you want a bigger meaning in life. There has to be something more than just eating McDonald's.
There does.
Well, I'd like to think you
McDonald's
want to have big. Well, that I will. I say that because I unfortunately have a fast food addiction. Yeah, secular Buddhist. Exactly.
It's funny So, if Donald Trump had invited you to the White House and he had the fast food like he had the team there, you would have been.
I wasn't going to say
the basketball team,
but because you
had
said
all
it,
fast food from like.
I share uncomfortable amounts with it. So there's a lot I hate about him. Like legit, I think are just trash. Yeah. But like some of the things that I dislike about him are the things that I think I have in my own weaknesses. And so that's yes. To answer your question is yes, I would have done just
You would have been down
fine
with that fast food buffet.
Oh my God.
I always thought that was so silly. Like these players come over just to like imagine like you have dinner at the White House and you're telling your grandkids that and like what did they serve? A Big Mac and
no pickles.
Yeah.
Can I just say the funniest thing when I go to Chick-fil-A is they only have so many options, and I just ask for a chicken sandwich, no pickle. And each and every time, I just feel funny. Well, no, I just feel funny in the back of my head at going to Chick. It's like an anti-gay place, and as a transgender, I'm like going there, and I'd like, hi, I'd like a sandwich with no pickle, please. Can you just like remove the pickle? It's the only thing I like. Just gotta remove that, Don.
Yeah, I have a girl deck. Get over it.
I have a girl. No, they always act nice to me. The people
sure
that are at Chick-fil-A are not like 40, 50, 60, 80-year-old Christians. They are like tweens, if that. Like I'm pretty sure they're all the manager is probably 20.
Yeah. Late teens, early 20s.
Yes, and so no, they're all nice. They're all basically asked for my order behind their braces.
Well,
What's up, Doc Fearsome?
Well, that's the reason that Ken Hovind will never leave Christianity, because if he did that, he would have to go get a job at like a place like that, because he's done nothing else his entire life. He has no relevant experience or knowledge in anything other than bullshitting people for a living. It's literally all he's done his entire life is just lie to people.
He's selling the invisible product.
Yeah.
What is up? What? Once more theists into Jainism, at least they don't blow people up. That's true. I don't know enough about Jainism except for that it's a peaceful religion.
The funny thing about Ken Hovind, like when you're backstage with him, because he's done this because I've debated him 4 times, but he usually asks like, and he always asks, he's like, so James, so if you had to convert to Christianity and give up your atheist evolution religion, would that impact you financially? Would you lose your income?
Not
Say
as
no,
much as
Ken.
you can.
I mean, I work full time, and I mean, we're monetized now, but that's nowhere near enough yet to be able to live off of. So no, if I became a Christian again, it would not really have a major financial impact
Yet,
on
how
me at
about
all.
you, Homer?
Yeah, on the other side, yeah. I asked him that. I'm like, what about you, Kent? Your whole little compound there. He's like, oh, I've been working since I was 16 years old. I'd be fine. I can find something to do.
And this is my last thing, because I feel like I've been almost picking on you completely. But my last thing is to unless you keep on bringing stuff up.
Yeah,
My
I mean, come on. You put the fuzzy handcuffs on him. You're going soft on him. You are not.
Oh, I do, because
You're not going hard on
after
him. He's
what
loving
I
it.
know what it's like over there, and it's like it's an maybe Khalil is a little bit more empathetic, but a lot of it is like a pre-sup place, and so they berate you. But what I would say is focus on descriptive, not prescriptive. Just because that's what's going to be like when they drill you at home with these like lawyer-like things where they're like trying to where you opened with like a lay almost greeting and now they're attacking you for your lay greeting or whatever.
But it's like fake lawyer. It's like sovereign citizen type lawyers,
yes.
and
Is.
It's not even real. It's not even. It doesn't even make sense. But to the people who don't know anything about it, it might sound like it does.
And this is where the actual label Buddhist, deist, atheist,
Jena.
Muslim, Janist, put that all aside. Can I ask you, what are your thoughts on skepticism? Because I think if you were to ask James and I both, the reason that we're agnostic atheists is because we're skeptics. We have been driven by our skepticism. We've taken a skeptical look at our religious beliefs, and we no longer believed in what our parents, possibly their parents did, or our relatives. And so, what does skepticism mean to you, that word?
Like I'll say, like I've said before, it's not even really like a choice. It's not like you're waking up one day and deciding to be an atheist.
Indeed.
It's actually you just being honest with yourself about what you actually really believe, and are you going to keep trying to force yourself to believe something that you really know that you don't have good reasons to believe? It's just about the first person you have to be honest with is yourself, and you have to say, I don't have good reasons to believe this. I don't believe it.
Not only that, but if you're not skeptical towards your own beliefs, it kind of hamstrings you to be able to criticize someone else's beliefs, because how can you be skeptical of someone else if you're not able to turn that mirror in on yourself? And I'm not saying you are. It actually, to be honest with you completely, and to all these types of people like you, it actually sounds like you are in a vast period of questioning right now. It sounds like you're having a lot of doubts, and that's actually a good thing.
What was I going to say? Damn it.
Sorry. Well, I am gonna maybe start shouting out some.
I guess we're not going to get there. We'll have to get paid in December. Womp womp. That's all right.
Well, I will say we are going to do ways in which we think will promote super chats in different ways, just different content. I think I've been thinking about, like, when we do the new show Impromptu Debate You.
Like Oz plays the music when they do it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Maybe we can get Oz to make us a little track.
I get the feeling that, like, if anyone from our chat wants to ask a question to the Discord chat, it's going to be from a super chat. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to think of ways to grow the channel while also getting everyone content, because we want to always keep the content free while also figuring out ways to pay the bills and not sell. We do have a number of new shows coming out. I'm really excited for also our news show. We're about to have an SNL a weekend update, a Saturday I said Saturday Night Live, the Daily Show with Trevor Noah, a late show with Stephen Colbert type of thing, where it's going to be James and I doing one-liners with graphics. I think we're actually going to do a live recording and a premiere, because I kind of want to figure out how to get a live audience. I'm fearful that like the live audience will want to talk back too much. Like there are certain people I already have in my head that would love to probably talk, but at the same point, I really want to get like a natural laugh track instead of like a so we'll see how that works. If anyone has any interest on being on a live show, tell me. We might make just a panel for a laugh track. Yeah, that's right. Gizmo looks on. Do. Do you have any debates or anything coming up, James?
No, I don't actually.
I have to email Standing again.
Yeah, for you to figure that out before
I emailed him. I think we've had a back and forth, but I think I might have got lost in that back and forth.
He just had a book come out, and I'm not going to buy it like on Amazon, but if he's got like a digital copy, I'll send him like $5 or $10 for. But just to be able to read it, it's his version of the end times, and then of course we would review it on the channel. It's
oh, absolutely,
like 300 pages, but it's probably in big type. Probably wouldn't. Yeah. This is it. My usual Gizmo costume.
That's right. Hello, Gizmo. Sending love, Reid, sending love to all of our channel members.
One thing I have to point out, since you mentioned that, this has been kind of gnawing at me for a few days. Yeah, go ahead, Amy. A few days now. And this is a topic I know that there's a lot of people, because being atheist, we only means we necessarily agree on one thing. We don't have a belief in a God. After that, everything else is in different degrees. So I understand it's not everybody's opinion, but it's mine. But I'm just gonna say I saw these videos, and it was kind of generating a lot of outrage. It was either in Alabama or Mississippi. It was a daycare, and these kids, they're like 3 or 4 years old, and the daycare workers were putting masks on, like scary masks, and like chasing the kids around, because I guess they had misbehaved, so they were, scaring the kids and chasing them around the room, and of course they were pretty scared. They're young kids, and it's hard to watch a video like that for anyone who's had a child that age. I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine it having something like that happen to my son when he was that age. That would be absolutely terrible. But it's generated a lot of outrage, and I think like 3 of them were ended up charged with felony child abuse, which, it definitely was cruel and unnecessary what they did to those kids. But be that as it may, we live in a country where in all 50 states, if the teacher had, instead of having a mask on, I don't know if it's legal in schools in all 50 states, but in the home, if it was a parent chasing them around with a ruler or a stick to hit them with it because they had done something wrong, that would be terrifying, but that would totally be legal. In fact, a lot of people would say that's good parenting. It's just the the fact is that we don't have to watch the horror that goes on in a lot of these homes where a lot of these kids do get the child abuse epidemic in our society is pretty once you like look under the surface of what's going on, it's really terrible, and our justice system is not really well equipped to handle these cases. Personally, I'm of the opinion they should just abolish it completely, and I don't think we should have any sect of our society, let alone the weakest people in our society, that you can use violence on as a means of correction. We don't do it for adults. We don't do it for prisoners anymore. It doesn't work. Why we still cling to this need that 4 and 5-year-olds need to be able to be hit when they do something wrong is beyond me. And they have said for years going back to the 1800s when it was still in use in the military, and they would march the admirals and the generals to Congress and the Parliament in the UK, and they would say, look, it's not that we like beating our sailors and soldiers. It's not that. It's just, how are we going to get them to follow orders if we can't, in the heat of battle, they can't be questioning an officer's orders. They have to follow that immediately. And only this tool, as bad as it is, can ensure immediate compliance to lawful orders. And that, for the longest time, they kept it legal until they stopped listening to the generals, the admirals. They abolished it. And the military does just fine without it. They do just fine. Orders still get followed. The military still functions. They said the same thing for prisons. Like, these guys are hardened criminals. What are we going to do? Take away their dessert? They have so few privileges already that we have to be able to do something to them. And for the longest time, they kept it. And it wasn't actually until the 1970s, early 70s, when Arkansas was the last state to abolish it. The use of leather straps on inmates, the Tucker telephone, which was a crank telephone that they would use to deliver electric shocks to the inmates. And they eventually abolished it. And for all the problems that we have in our prison systems, for all the things that are wrong with it, and there definitely are them, it's actually not more violent than it used to be. And that's what you have to remember. It's not ideal. It's not perfect. But if you look at like the rates of assaults on guards, assaults on inmates, it is getting better without the use of, without being able to threaten to beat inmates. And in schools, there are schools all over the world where it's not used, and learning still takes place. The kids still learn. This is not something that's absolutely necessary. It's something that a lot of people cling to because that stupid book says that it's a good idea, because that stupid book says that if your children are disobedient, beat them, beat the crap out of them. That will teach them the right way to be. And if that doesn't work, execute them. Now, I think just about all of us realize that you should execute a child for being disobedient. That's stupid, but, well, we won't go that far, but we will still beat them. Yeah, we still will beat them because, well, I guess if they live for a day or two and then die, I guess it's not a problem, like they're your slave.
So to just change the subject for 1 second, Shane Bilowitz just wants to point out that, well, I've used leather straps before, but not on inmates.
And Amy always says, hey, voluntary slavery, she's down with it.
That's right, baby. We don't kink shame nobody here.
She makes a living off of it. But be that as it may, 4 or 5-year-old children are not... it's to me, it's absolutely appalling, and that it's allowed to happen, and it's just like the outrage over people in a daycare putting scary masks on and scaring kids like that generated like, oh my gosh, how could they do that? But a parent chasing their kid around the house with a belt because he got a bad grade on his report card is totally legal. 50 states, it can happen. It does happen. All 50 states, 100% legal.
Sadly.
As long as they're not injured to the point where they need medical care, basically, it's legal. Nothing can be done about it. They have to the police have to sit, wait, and do nothing until there's a serious type of injury. Even then, most of those cases get bumped down to misdemeanor. The justice system does not take them seriously at all. These kids are not taken out of the home. Because that's my other thing that I do when I'm not doing atheist content is like true crime, and I like to study that from more of a legalistic, like the legal side of the crime, like how the law works and everything. Once you start looking at these cases and how they're handled, and you see so many of them, they just go nowhere. They're not prosecuted. They get bumped down to misdemeanors, and then they get just dismissed from that. So it can happen multiple times, and they won't have a conviction. There won't be really anything, no consequences for it, no consequences. And those mental scars, not just the physical scars, but the mental scars can be building up in these children. And it's just, we have in our culture, and it's a justifiable outrage, but we have outrage when an adult sexually abuses a child. We have justifiable outrage.
Absolutely.
It's totally inappropriate. We should, and we actually do a good job of overall protecting kids from that. Why? Because we take it so seriously. There is no splitting hairs. It's never appropriate. It's never okay. And the law deals with it. But when it comes to physical abuse, it's like, well, I mean, was it that bad? Did it go too far? What type of injuries are there? And it just becomes this, just if it was a hard and fast rule that we don't do it at all, it's never acceptable. I'm not proposing that that if a parent gets frustrated and they smack their child who's misbehaving, that they should lose custody and go to prison or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But, at least we can identify it, maybe see what kind of support services we can do for the family, see what's causing the child to have these behavioral problems, and what we can do for the parent to get them to cope with their anger and help them to develop better positive parenting techniques so they won't have to do something like that. You only take aggressive action if it's severe, if it continues and it doesn't stop. But we and the way that they look at it from a injury standpoint, well, how bad is the child injured? But that's not even a good standard of evaluating it, because we know that the mental scars, those don't show up on the body.
Absolutely.
And those can last a lifetime, much longer than physical injuries. And as police departments figured out in the 70s and 80s, you can actually beat somebody pretty good with a rubber hose, and you will not do much damage to the body, but you can dish out a severe beating. And you can beat somebody pretty bad, but it won't look like they got beat pretty bad, because it's designed not to inflict marks on the body. And then, of course, we have I think it's in Massachusetts, we have the Judge Rotenberg Center, which is a school for special needs children. And they have about, the FDA banned it, but they gave a waiver for coronavirus. I don't know if the ban has taken effect, but there were about, I think, 10% of their students who wear these shock bands on their legs. So if they misbehave, according to their behavior plan, the staff.
Oh my gosh! I saw what's it called? A thing that was trying to sell. That was trying to sell that on where you present ideas. What the?
The Pavlov.
UK, Shark Tank. There we
Yeah.
go. Someone was trying
I've
to
seen
sell
it.
that. They have now tied that to a child. Okay. Holy.
Yeah, they call it the GED, like the electric device, graduated electric. And there's horrible videos online of them with
can
autistic
imagine.
children being subjected to hundreds of shocks back to back. One boy for the crime of not wanting to take his jacket off when a teacher had asked him to. And of course, they say, "Oh no, we only do it for violence or self harm or whatever." You have to ask yourself, like, in Arkansas, they banned the Tucker telephone in like 1969 when the first case went to federal court, and they weren't ready to ban all corporal punishment, but they said the Tucker telephone, that's got to stop. You can't be tying inmates down and giving them electrical shocks to their genitals as punishment. That's
Holy
totally
moly.
unacceptable.
Yeah, I
And,
think so.
Yeah. So we abolished that for prisoners 50 years ago, but unless the ban has taken effect, it still happens for special needs children. We'll still do it for, because special needs children, electric shock therapy only in the United States. Well, only hopefully nowhere else does.
We're also we're one of the few religious first world countries, and I'm hoping that will eventually end. But
you see, it's been banned in like several European countries. All corporal punishment in the home.
So is Scientology.
Schools, they do fine. Their rates of criminality are not higher than us. Kids still go to school. They still learn. Everything still happens. It doesn't make them turn into thugs and criminals. There are other ways to parent. That stupid book that gets everything else wrong.
That's me. I like to think of myself.
That's just one more freaking thing that it got wrong.
Thug life. Hold on.
Anyway, that's my rant on child abuse in America.
Which we have some terrible things here. We handle child. We at least outlawed child labor. We made
regulated
child. We've made actual laws against child sexual acts. We have made a lot of gains. However, this country just still treats just its Puritan type of leftovers.
Oh, thank you so much, P-Town. We can get paid for the month.
Thank you so very much, P-Town. We are sending you all of that love right back.
Thank you so much.
Come on to me.
I was not going to let Amy leave until
I think that's the end of the super chat. And so should tell me when and where, P-Town, and I'll head over. Oh, wait. There is more. Okay. All ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. Woo! Thank you so very much, and we are wishing you all a well-rested day, night, wherever you are. We're wishing you all the love in the world. Thank you so very much, our theist brother out there.
Woo-hoo. Thanks, B-Town. We
yes,
really helps. Appreciate it.
In fact, does it let you pin super chats?
Yeah, I'll
keep on showing it. Thank you so very much for the love. In fact, Ask Me Anything or Say Something Funny is the show where we're looking to send a love letter back to our supporters, all of the people who have sent us super chats and questions and comments from our channel members and Patreons. This is what really enables us to make great content. We have multiple great shows. I kind of want to show the thing I showed. I'm trying to think if maybe I should make that a Patreon exclusive. Kind of just showing impromptu. I showed you impromptu debate you the new logo.
It's a good one, yeah. It's a really good one.
It did. That
snazzy.
Came out really
good, yeah.
really nice. And I'm hoping that the Skeptic show is going to really come out with a fun intro just like because there's no religious type of or a religious, anti-religious news show. So I'm excited to just do that
Hey,
stuff. It's been great to crack some stories.
yeah, you
But yeah,
def my dad had that. My dad was actually he passed away when I was 16 in 2000 at the age of 53. Um, he was a deeply broken person throughout his whole life because his childhood that he had. His dad was not a good man. He was a violent alcoholic. He was very abusive to the kids, the mother. He was a womanizer, serial cheater, multiple affairs. He was just not a good guy at all. And but my dad, he always said that he didn't agree with it. He was not going to do it to us because his dad uh, did it to him. He was going to break that cycle, and yeah. And what I would
yeah.
a lot of people in that realm, they say like, well, I mean, my parents beat me and I turned out okay. And even if that's true, even if hey, some people think that's true, um, not everybody that plays Russian roulette ends up dead. That doesn't mean it's a good idea to
Indeed.
do. Just because it happened to you and you were okay does not mean your kids will be okay. Doesn't mean their memories won't be scarred by some of those things. Good night, doorknob. And and that's the thing. Like, what percentage of your childhood do you actually remember? Like your childhood, maybe 1 or 2% of it. You remember so little of it. Uh, you think about do you want the few memories your child has to be that you got upset with them about something stupid, and that you beat them because they did something stupid? Is that one of the few memories you want them to have, carrying with them throughout the rest of their life? Probably not, because I think most people when they do that and when they act in anger, they're at their worst. Probably want to your kids to remember
Great.
you more at your best. Not that you're perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect parent. I'm sure not. No parent is. But um, yeah, we're all just trying to do the best we can, and that's just my opinion on it. I know other people disagree. No, I get you, Udef. No, I saw the sarcasm in there. I get you.
Oh yeah,
But
and this is
a lot of people do say that it happened to them and they were fine. So I was saying that some people do say that, but it's not a good argument.
and I will say this: we are a comedy podcast. When people talk about the word irreverent really at its heart is taking serious subjects in a lighthearted manner. We're serious subjects non-seriously. And so we like to deal with a lot of hard-hitting issues. We like to deal, I think, with a lot of subjects that people may not want to always discuss at the Thanksgiving table. Yes, that get kind of a little bit deeper. However, you got to have a little bit of humor. We always just, I like to say, you laugh or you cry. I don't even know where I get that from, but and so we're channeling one or the other at all those times here, and so it just depends on which the mood is.
But as usual, religion is to blame for most of it. So there you
Sure.
go.
Unfortunately,
Religion
what's
is
up, 888? Hope you're doing awesome. And I just want to just do it one last time, really. One last time. Thank you so very much, P-Town. You really are amazing.
yeah,
So
you saved the day. You saved the
Mwah,
month,
mwah,
P-Town.
mwah, mwah. And it is fantastic. We've been using a lot of those funds. Like I said, we are not only going to have 3 new shows. Like I said, the
All that takes
graphics
money.
are already being turned into animations. Some of which will be turned into openings and closers. Some are going to be
Oh, hey,
turned
Dave Carr.
into a new graphics overlay for things like the impromptu debate you. Dave Gar in the house, what is up? I think we're going to go with actually less layouts on things like the Skeptic Show. You're just going to see a logo in the bottom, but that's what all of the networks do. It's what NBC does, Comedy Central. NBC actually, I think, covers both of that because they are SNL and The Late Show.
I see, like, Amy is always looking to increase our production value. These are not things that she just creates on Paint on her computer. She really takes this seriously, puts a lot into it. She wants it to look the best it can be. A lot of it gets professionally designed.
Finally figured out what I want to be in life, and I learned it. I got inspired from Gizmo, but I want to be a producer now. Like I feel like, first of all, I spent like 10 years talking with neo-Nazis, and I'm just gonna like everything they hate. I'm gonna become that. I'm gonna become that. I'm gonna become that. All right, I'm just gonna become all the things they hate. Let's go. And so I do. I want to produce multimedia. I love it. I've fallen in love. I actually just put my hat on there on Fiverr to produce. If you would like to, I should send a thing out there because I may start doing Give me 1 second. But if you would like to have, can't believe I'm doing it, but why not? Why the hell not, right?
Produced by a trainee.
If you would like to, that's right. Be produced by a trainee. You can be right up there. I'm in the works of working with someone. I'm excited to be working with more people. I halved off my prices when I joined Fiverr because I want to just get out there and meet people and get stuff done.
The knees price.
That's the knees price, baby. That's the
chopping off prices at the knees. There you go.
That's right. And so I really do. I have fallen in love with being a producer. A producer is one of the most important jobs in production. I guess it comes with the name, and yet most people have no idea what they do. And so I'll give a little insight into what an actual producer does, because a producer,
what would you say
essence,
it is you do around here, Amy?
In many essence, it's a showrunner, but it can open up many different hats. So when you're producing something, you often hire, like a movie, you hire a director. Directors are who most people think of when they think of as the leader of a movie. And that is true to a degree. What a producer is doing is they are hiring a leader. They're hiring someone to go out and work with the actors, someone to work with the script. However, generally the producer selects the script. Generally the producer selects.
They have supervisory control over the director. And
yes, well, it's almost like you take a little bit of money and you are what is using your money to get all this stuff, and then you're hoping that the final product. So a producer will hire someone to find scene locations, but then they'll come back because there's a and pay this person, and then thank you. I do not only that, but I keep on saying that. That's another thing that I'll be doing is getting back up on stage. I have a whole list of things I would like.
There are some of the first videos on the channel. If you go,
It's why this channel was started. But then I kind of got in a debate, as James was my debate partner, and on Modern Day Debate, and we were vibing so much. We were just having conversations that were like, we should be recording.
Destroying religion, bashing religion, like taking religion and just ripping it apart and pile driving the carcass into the pavement, as it should be, because it's bullshit. It's not
And I
true.
like that you're saying Buddhism is my religion. That's
I think that's Beamsy's religion
Beamsies,
too.
exactly.
Yeah, Beamsy's religion. Hey, I mean, compared to Yahweh, I think booty would be better
You
thing to
are
worship.
an aspiring comic. That is fantastic. I'm trying to hold back with all my pressure not
boy.
to just give advice. So how long have you been doing stand-up? That is freaking fantastic. Or do you have some on your channel? I love comedy. I've taken a few improv classes, as well as stand-up classes, and that's a different thing you learn because stand-up tends to be monologuing. It tends to be a pre-written thing. Everything that Jerry Springer, that Jerry Seinfeld has written, everything that he says has been handwritten. So it may look like he's having a conversation that he just thought of, but he didn't. Everything has been written down, and then he says it over and over and over again. That's different from improv.
Kind of like Ken Hovind.
Yes, kind of. A monologue
says his script over and over and over again.
It's very similar to what a late show host is doing. That is a traditional monologue. Now you can do other things. You know, you can improv. Technically, is a form of stand-up comedy, but there are at a certain level there are places that will say, "Don't come up there and do crowd work. Like we don't pay you to do crowd work. You can do a little crowd. Yes, as in you can do a little bit of crowd work if that's your thing, but you're there to have a.
They don't feel like you have to.
Yes, or more. Well, not only don't feel like you have to. Some of them are very strict. I learned very strict. It really is. They want the monologue. They want the.
They don't want you too much talking to the
crowd. A joke is kind of a setup, premise, setup, punchline. Premise, setup, punchline.
Don't do Reggie from the Nutty Professor. You remember that?
Yeah, I should. I was just watching pieces of the Nutty Professor the other night. Yes, I do. Oh. He went up there, or I remember no, that was Zoidberg that I remember going up there, and he was terrible.
Yeah, it was Eddie Murphy as Shrimp, the Nutty Professor.
No, I was just watching pieces of the Nutty Professor the other day, but I didn't see that. But I also watched Zoidberg.
There's two stand-up comedy scenes in there where he takes his date to a comedy club twice. Once as Professor Clump, the ginormous guy, and he just gets destroyed by the comic for making every fat joke in the book, and then he comes back as Eddie Murphy and just
destroys him.
Yeah, he destroys Reggie.
Well, I mean, those types of jokes to me are easy. I think you're granted one or two easy jokes. One or two. So you have to at least maybe once call it out because it's the elephant in a room, especially if they're fat. But after that, you just look like
just sit there
we get it. I'm fat. Yeah. After a while, it actually looks like it's a weakness. And so, because I'll tell you, a fat comic that I love, who is no longer, Patrice O'Neal, can nail people to the floorboard, or at least he used to be. And he was a smart mother. Big Mama's. And okay, so like to write jokes, but never had a mic yet. I want to so bad. I know that feeling because it is cathartic. So writing jokes is fantastic. What you got to do is you got to go to an open mic. Lots of open mics. They'll just let you throw your hat in the ring. A lot of them have their music, poetry, and comedy. Some are just comedy. If it's just music, go to another one. But the great thing about open mics is it, let anyone and their mother go up there. You get up to oftentimes 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a lot of time. Amazing amount of people don't understand. Check out the podcast Kill Tony. He could be an asshole sometimes, but he's funny as hell. And the podcast is about giving everyone a tight minute. You go on there, he pulls your name out of a hat, and you go and do a minute. I would say getting a tight minute for an open mic, not a bad thing to do. It's okay to go a little bit under, because you'll feel great with just that 60 seconds of good material. You want to record yourself every time that you go up there, even if you're not going to put it on YouTube or on the internet, because you're recording it not for other people. You're actually recording it for yourself. You're recording it because if it's a good crowd, if they're vibing and everything, and you go up there and you bomb, then maybe it wasn't you. Maybe you got to figure out. Though, if you go up there and you have 1 or 2 laughs, figure out where those laughs are, because you'll go, hey, that joke's worked. And I've had jokes I thought were going to be amazing, and they just never hit. And I've had stuff that weren't even, I didn't think were punchlines, that just everybody laughed at. And so you keep that stuff in. And what you do is you get, yes, exactly. What you do is you get over that feeling of going in week after week and being like, oh man, because that's what I've had to. I was originally doing new material every week that I went in there. Oh my God, is that hard? You actually get better at your bits the more you refine them. And so you don't submit. That's why you hear a lot of comedians will talk about, oh man, I can't believe they filmed that. That wasn't ready to be out there yet, because that repetition actually refines those jokes. And then when you have this diamond of a 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour plus, now you have a special. And that special is normally your best content. I know, I can't help it, it's deep in me. Can I tell you? And I'll tell you,
deep in her.
Deep in me. And we'll go for probably a half hour to an hour, maybe, and we'll do.
Unless people want us to stay, they can. They know how to make that happen.
We also want to wish everybody a happy Halloweeny, as we are doing our Ask Me Anything or Say Something Funny. This is our love letter to our supporters, those who send in super chats, our channel members, our Patreons. However, we're sending love to just our subscribers and viewers. Thank you so very much, 888. I'm trying to think of any other advice that I can give on comedy, because I'll tell you my other joke. This is just a complete tangent, but I've struggled long and hard with things like race. Going back to the fighting, the people who shout German and have funny mustaches, and I was listening to Dave Attell and Jeff Ross do a tour, and Jeff Ross just said how doesn't matter where in the world he went, doesn't matter which country. Sometimes they couldn't even speak the same damn language, and they're sitting there trying to, communicate. When he was with another comedian, he was with his tribe. He was with his people. I feel the same thing about skeptics, and so I always joke, my ethnicity is comedian. And
Did you? Ash comedian.
Hash comedian. Da da da. Though if you're
you
religious,
didn't even know what Ashkenazi was until the Nazis started calling you an Ashkenazi.
I did not know I was Ashkenazi until my mid-20s. Mid-20s.
After they're ready to no, we need to
I
be
came
up
to
your,
my
we want to
parents.
sweep your ashes up and throw you in the dust.
Exactly. Some people I have
free cremation.
They'll be like Ashkenazi. I'm like, but no, I came to my mother one day and I was like, "Are we Ashkenazi?" And she was like, "I think so. That's that. That." I'm like, "What do you mean? Yeah, that. Why did you never told me that or used that word?" They're like, it didn't
it's
seem
basically
important.
like if someone has that Jewish look to it, like what you would characteristically, I guess, say is that like Jewish look to them. Yeah, that's the Ashkenazi ethnicity that you're identifying.
What?
The schnoz, the Jew schnoz.
The nose. Every time I smell weed, I'm like,
the
smell
dark hair
victory in the air.
Schnoz.
Though we will say if you are a theist and want to disagree with us, we'll also probably respond. Though, speaking of people who do agree with us, and sending love to you,
Yeah.
I hate my mood swings. They're fantastic. Woo! Sending so much love, Judith. I agree. I also hate my mood swings. They kind of make me a little angry. Boo, 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 do, 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 do. But we're sending so much of that love right back to you, Judith.
You got she's got the nose. The
nose. Can't help myself. My mom doesn't. My dad does. I don't know. I get told by partners, they're like, it's cute. I want a nose job, and I'm not because I want, like, I have the nose, but because I have a deviated septum. You can just hear, like, pretzels come out of my nose. Like, you can feel Philly cheesesteaks come out of my nose. You can just feel it. But thank you so much, Judah.
Phillies game.
So much love. I know, the Phillies are apparently doing amazing. That's what the people who go team local sports are telling me, right?
There you go.
We're ready for it. Go Flegels. Wait, different sport.
Hey, Dolphins won today.
Did they? Woo! Go
Dolphins.
Go sapient animals.
Yeah.
What's up, Rebel? I have a joke for you. My favorite thing is the only religion that hangs trees that with decorations are have a holy book that says "Do not cut down trees" and hang decorations on them. That's basically why I have a Christmas tree, because they're the most unbiblical thing you can think of.
We might be able to think of something more unbiblical, but I don't know. A bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, yes, I was thinking about that too.
Bacon cheeseburger, add shrimp.
That really would be a bacon cheeseburger with shrimp on it. That really is as bad as blasphemous as you could get.
I mean, that would be like kryptonite for Yahweh. Like, he would just see that
explode.
Now, especially if the waiter, if the server was gay, if it was a gay guy serving it to him, that would. I mean, he would just run out of there pulling his hair out. He would be so scared.
It's not the only thing he'd be pulling, if you get what I mean.
Well, there you go.
But yes, sending love. Thank you. See, I can tell you're a fan of comedy. You're a Norm fan.
Oh,
I
God.
saw this and I was like, I wonder if they sell it. Comes in 4 different colors, including Gothic. And
Well, thank you,
um,
Rebel.
but sending so much love. Thank you so very much to all of our super chatters so far, all of our Patreons, our channel members. Cause go sports ball! Yay! That's right. Go team. Go local team. Go team. Go local team.
Oh, they're going all right.
Oh, they are. You can feel it. All Hallows Eve. I just saw Terrifier 2. Actually, I just saw the first one too. They were good. I can understand, like the hype's a little overhyped for the second, but it was good, and I can understand why it would make people queasy. I was explaining it too. It was kind of the reason why Terrifier 2 is so squeamish is because in most horror flicks, you go out there and just kill someone real fast. It's just whoop, and then the person's dead. But the first swing is kind of like where the scene begins in each Terrifier. And so the scenes go on, I think, sometimes longer than most people would realistically be alive.
Look what the cat drug in there.
Oh my, we're bringing in the Theus. What is up, Ralph? Tuned in to that dance, I know.
Lured by the girl deck.
Mm.
He can't help it. There you go, Ralph. We won't tell your wife.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Or do, and we can have a threesome.
Oh, hey.
Oh. God, hold on. I got it. I got you. Hammer time. Boom, boom,
Hammer
boom.
time.
I'd show it, but we are actually looking to show comments on screen for our super chatters, our channel members, as well as our Patreons. All of our supporters are getting big shout outs who you can find right down here. And in a second, we're going to do, I keep on saying it and I keep on forgetting, we'll do our vocal shout outs too. Boom, boom,
Saucy.
Boom. Saucy. Like how long Family Guy is laughing at his own jokes. Family Guy. Family Guy. I do like the adult cartoons. There's the Family Guy, The Simpsons. I am a big fan of South Park. I am a big fan of Archer. Trying to think of what else.
Oh boy. Here it comes.
Oh boy.
Here we go. Get ready, guys.
My body is ready. Send in love completely. Respect Orthodox Christianity. See what it sounds like. Just be a conservative atheist or a conservative deist. Buddhist.
Taoist. Shinto.
Taoist. Can have all of the same political trappings and none of the whatevers. What's up, Zellini? You don't like South Park? I love Matt and Trey. They can sometimes, go a little bit potty humor, but we think, who are we to judge on that? That kind of Orthodox is detox. See, against what, though? I feel like they're having we've had such a blowback to, like, the quote-unquote, here's where I get spicy. Like, it really does feel like we've had an overblown proportion, a overblown reaction to the LGBTQ, to gay and trans. They're just really having a hard time digesting right now. Like, I feel like most of those people are getting over it. Like, they have to drudge up articles from a while ago. They have to focus on articles from like one person in like San Francisco decided to do this one thing once. And it's almost always like they have to hint that it was sexual when it never was. Like a bunch of their big thing is Drag Queen Story Hour, where like a bunch of drag queens read stories on why you should like love your neighbor and be a decent human being. But they're like, but they're drag queens, so it must be sexual and children.
I mean, they're not like reading porn magazines or
no, but see
that kind of stuff.
But what they do is it's just like creationists. They do like half sentences. So they do Drag Queen Story Hour. What must be happening then? They must be teaching kids how to be drag queens.
Right.
Which it's like, no, it's just people trying to teach. There was a song that was sung by some sort of choir that was like, we're trying to convert your kids. And the whole song was like, you're right. This one time, we are trying to actually convert your kids into decent human beings. You're right. You caught us. They keep on talking to us, and
maybe they won't hate people just based on the clothes that they wear. Oh, that's a guy dressed in women's clothing. We should hate him. He's a terrible person.
Exactly. Well, I'm gonna say good night completely. Thank you for
have a good night.
The back and forth. I hope you don't feel like I said, my target rectal was too much on you, or if it was, I hope you enjoyed it. Oh my. My last thing. I think I have said the last thing I'm going to say on this at least 3 times. But like, just focus on the word skepticism. Like all of the words that we've been talking of all of them.
Delicious word salads.
We really just want to sell us and other people on being merchants of doubt. We just want people to believe in things when they have actually been convinced they're true. When you really feel like you have good evidence to believe in something, you should believe in it. No matter what it is, good or bad, it is because then it becomes a descriptor of reality. It becomes not what we want it to be, but what it is. Wom, 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 wom. It almost sounded like a deepity at the end, but I mean it. We're just describing, not prescribing. Regis is sending videos that don't have the story time. Don't show it. There's 18 activities at 18 plus establishments. Sure. I'm trying to understand. So if anyone who shows, so it should always be just material that is appropriate. That's what I would say. And that's what I've normally found. If it is inappropriate, that shouldn't be. I know there was the one case of the lady with the massive honkers. And I mean, I've talked to this with my partner. We both of us had mostly the same viewpoint, which was, that would kind of be a little bit much, but not because I think the woman was transgender. She should be able to teach. Transgender women, men, they should be teaching. We are great assets to society, and I hope they do.
If they're qualified and they have
yes.
degrees and they're licensed, sure.
Exactly. What is up, Math Pig? I was supposed to respond. I think we both forgot. I think you said so. I think it was me that was the last person, though. So I'm so sorry, Math Pig. This is me reminding my own self that I was supposed to contact you because we want more Discord debates, and I want rolls, jelly rolls.
More Math Pig.
Yes, more Math Pig. We want more Math Pig. Oh, I was also supposed to do something. Oh, he already did. There we go. Supposed to make Math Pig mod, and now he is. Boom.
Oh, that's what you were supposed to do?
Oh, he wasn't one, I think, on YouTube, and he now is. If we are always looking for mods out there on the YouTubeosphere or Twitchosphere, all you got to do is actually want to be one. Though Math Pig, it's actually in his DNA, so he does not have a choice. Unfortunately, he was born one. Woo! Congratulations!
A new woman there, Master. Congrats. I thought that what you've been waiting to do was submitting your letter to the Olympic Committee. That thing about making sodomy an Olympic sport that you've been throwing around.
Honestly, I feel like we could just take things to another level. And I
Right.
always like to live by anything's a dildo if you're brave enough. And so we just
Right.
want to find a bunch of new sports out there.
Sodomy in the Olympics. Yeah,
That's
great.
right. A Discord debate on which server, you ask? Why, that is a fantastic question, because you can join the Skeptic and Ranting Discord server. If I ever find it, it is in the link in the description in every YouTube video. It's in the description right now. I'm trying to find it so I can put it on screen.
Matt Pig says he's available, free in 2 hours.
Okay,
We'll probably be asleep in 2 hours, but
I was gonna say not to date now, right? He's got a hot lady. I almost said it like Bill Burr. There's the first time for Bill Burr. It's a lady. Oh, doing impressions. I wanted to do a spooky. I've been working on my other spooky impression. Hold on. I'm still going to send.
that's right, Regos. Another kind of pole vaulting. Yeah.
That's right. See how deep we can go. But also,
you can do it, Amy. Like the 96. You can do it, Amy. You can take the.
Oh, not long. I'm going to probably be doing some Discord debates on the politics and religion server, or the as well as the politics server, and a whole bunch of other Discord servers. But you can join our Discord server, and we're looking to set up more Discord debates and stuff on the Skeptic and Ranting community server right down there.
Hello.
That's right. A little bit of a different type of poll, but maybe even longer.
She is known as a size queen.
But I forget who brought it up.
That's like what Gavin is well known for, falling asleep during live streams and snoring. But I think your lady snoring would probably be a lot cuter than listening to Gavin snore. So
probably.
Yeah, she said Bill Burr, Michael Smith. Yes. We've reached our Bill Burr moment. That's kind of like our Godwin's Law for our podcast.
But I think I'm going to keep on saying it. I'm going to be right back one more time. I'm going to put up this on, and then we're going to start sending out verbal love. But
Self-love?
sending love, that's right. We're going to send out some self-love, because we're going to bring into the end game probably half an hour at most of the rest of our Ask Me Anything or Say Something Funny. But we've been having fun. A great end of the month. Great Halloweeny, because I hope you're all having a fun Halloween. That's right, a good Halloweener. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that has been on your mind theologically, James? Any arguments or anything that has been come across, or any very silliness from theists that you've been coming across?
Well, like I was saying, we have a video on the deck. It's another video about atheists don't exist. Christians reading their Bible, where it says that basically we all know, so we're all either in denial or just lying to ourselves, but we know that there's a God. This is one of those videos. They're fun, and yeah, that's coming up. then there's something we have at some point. We're going to have another stream with Cindy Lincoln. I have to get with her in terms of hammering out that exact date when she's going to be available. She's got a lot of things going on in her life, so yeah, she's got to. I'll get with her soon. We'll see what's going on with that. But Bree's gonna be on that one. Rubik's, Amy, Cindy Lincoln. It'll be fun. Kind of a feminine look at evolution. Let's see, because we had Cindy on maybe a month ago, and it was a fun stream, but she wanted to come back but have a more like structured stream as opposed to a free for all like last time. It was a lot of fun, but did get a bit chaotic. So it's going to be a little bit more structured, but it should still be good. Some great people on there. Anyhow, I know Amy's been talking about getting on a debate on standing for truth. That's been in the works for quite some time now, but hopefully it will actually come to fruition soon. And then we will probably be back possibly tomorrow, possibly depending on work schedule and weather conditions. I've been busy with the family this past week. My sister just got married yesterday, so we were doing all sorts of festivities for that. Oh, thanks 888. Yeah. Yeah. Amy likes to dress up. She dressed up the same as she did last time, but it still works, right? Hey, if it works, no need to change it. And I was thinking about that before we went on, that because last Halloween we had a stream with Pat Lowinger about the history of Halloween. He was taking a look at that. I was thinking that was a year ago. Wow, because a year ago I just had surgery on my abdomen, so I was still in recovery from that. I did a few streams that those were pretty rough, like right after I had got home from that. But hey, the show must go on, right? So we got a video coming up on atheists don't exist, because we don't believe that God exists. So, of course, God, being the adult in the room, he's just going to turn around and say, well, you don't believe I exist? Well, I don't believe you exist. So there. So you know what all you atheists need to do? Y'all need to come into existence and accept Christianity, because until you do that, you don't even exist.
You can't even exist without a God, James. You're contingent on a God. Except unless
it clearly says, oh, the evidence is clearly seen. There's a creator. It needs a there's a creation. It needs a creator. You know that there's a God. Yeah.
I do want to say, 888, that James went all out on his makeup tonight, and so.
Totally.
But yes, we are asking me anything or say something funny, specifically either of us, both of us, and looking for comments, questions, or one-liners.
That was.
Oh, I know, those are awesome pictures.
Yeah, that was a. It was a really nice ceremony. The Reverend, he was a Unitarian Universalist, so he'll just do.
Absolutely.
He'll do any denomination. It doesn't matter. He tailors it to the couple.
Oh, so will I.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying. Yeah.
But yes, so we're gonna give out some verbal shout outs. All of this entire episode, but really all of our shows are sponsored by our supporters, all the people who have given super chats, all of our channel members who you can become a member of by hitting that join button and be getting our evolving badge system, as well
You
as
can
some
partake in evolution.
fun emojis. That's right. You can prove Kent Hovind wrong right now by getting evolving badges.
27 different definitions of evolution. Yeah.
And our Patreons at patreon.com/Amy Newman, which is the link right at the bottom below. We're trying to
in chat.
get a 300 what's the goal, so that we can start doing more fun things. We're almost at 200, and so we're trying to hit our first goal. But Reid says, what is this God? Never had a belief in one, and the more I hear about it, the more complicated and implausible the concept has sounded.
It's so true, and that's the thing. I even pointed this out to Ken Hovind last time. Like, they're apt to sell you on like the concept of a designer, a necessary, whatever they call him, okay, in the vague sense. But the thing is, anytime once you move past that stage and they're actually introducing you to their designer, their necessary being their version of that, the whole thing falls apart, because they're all riddled with internal contradictions and absurdities and implausibilities, and they all just don't make sense at a fundamental level. None of them make sense. None of them are good. None of them are logical. They're certainly not probable. They're definitely not even plausible. So, well, maybe Math Pig is our god.
What is up, Upside Down? This is actually not an open mic. Yeah. This is actually our love letter to all of our supporters, all the people who give us super chats, channel members,
Patreon, Twitch members,
Twitch membership. However, it's also that's right. Open to just subscribers and viewers, because we're having a good time. We're responding. If you would like to debate theism, we'll definitely talk about it. I had a very short conversation with a deist just a few minutes ago. There's something I wanted to bring up. I
wanted to say really quick that I always thought that when I was a Christian, I always thought that when we got to heaven, God would be there, and it would be Tom Petty, and he'd be like, yeah, it was me this whole time, and you guys never noticed. Yeah, we never fucking noticed. He was pranking us. He was just fucking with us this whole time.
It would make sense. Yeah, that was my second guess. So,
or Bob Barker from The Price is Right. Have your Newman spayed or neutered. Gay love letters only, then that's right, yeah.
That's true.
Tell us how much you love the girl deck.
I also like to say that
say it in the super chat and we'll read it.
Not religious for bacon reasons. So it's very near and dear to my heart. Gay love, exactly. Or bi love letters. That's the thing with being bi, though, is I could take straight love letters too. I'll just take any love letters.
Send it in the form of a super chat. Tell Amy how much you love her and you want, and we'll read it. There you go.
Wait, hold on. Gotta earn that money, James. Hold on.
Well, there you go. She's dancing for it. Come on, Upside Down guy. You know you want
it. Someone was talking about some sort of sexuality beginning, and I like to think that I'm all of them. What are we talking about? My super chat account is... Oh, that's okay, Upside Down. We're still sending love.
For free.
In fact, my only two. Consenting and legal, baby. Besides that...
I'm afraid to ask what his other account was. I don't even want to know.
I can only imagine.
One of the Dr.
Right side up girl. But yes, this channel does support as much freaky sex as you can get on. Consenting,
Remember
legal,
our,
and freaky.
Dr. Godwin's Law, who used to come in all the time.
That unfortunately is like two people. There's like 2 or 3 people. But yes.
Using that moniker.
Well, it's just that's another weird thing that comes with the Dawa channels is like the Christians that come over are very nationalistic, and even some of the Muslims. I don't know why, but that also they don't tend to be the most gay friendly, LGBTQ friendly.
Well, on that
Christians
end, but
and
also
Muslims.
like they share historical beliefs with the former president of Iran, Ahmadinejad, about that thing that happened in the 1940s. That they're not so sold on it. They're just asking questions about it. They're
Is he
not sure
really
about it.
You're banned on this channel? Okay, but why? Was it a Titan thing?
Yeah.
They're all
I would have to know the
upside down
name.
things. And I want to know why. That's my big thing. Because James and I do almost zero banning on chat. Like we handle everything in front of our face, but we hire very sophisticated skeptics. Very sophisticated.
I mean,
they hold their pinkies out like this.
And they don't ban a lot of people. I mean, it's actually surprisingly pretty few on the ban list, and actually a lot of them that I see, like I know why they're on the list because
they either are doing a extreme amount of personal attacks, spamming generally in all captions. They are
racist, or homophobic.
That's the other thing that I was getting to. Stuff that's going to really break the TOS and attacking people. But like we like ideas that don't agree with our own. I always say we're the cuddliest side of politically incorrect because we take flack for that label
Mars,
sometimes.
Yeah, he's on he earned himself a ban.
Yes, P. Mars was the first person banned on this channel.
Explicitly, he banned from Discord.
I do believe he beat Claire, right?
Yeah, he was before Claire.
Because he went out of his way,
from
which breaks my heart because all the people that we've banned have been people that have started out like I naively really want to win them on board. Like you listen to all the other atheist agnostics and debaters, and they rightly say you're trying to not win over the person you're talking to, but the audience. However, I really can't. I really do. I really want to win. It's why I'm probably going to go back on fucking Dawa because I do think that people are reachable. And P. Mars would consistently be like, you guys are so late. It's just nice that I can come on here and man, just that. And he would even sometimes attack Christians. And it seemed like he was trending in the other direction. And like it was slavery, right? That triggered.
That was the trigger. It was a Bible study.
Yeah.
It was a really late night. And then remember, Dr. Josh came on because we started that stream at like 3 in the morning, and it was like 7:30 in the morning. Dr. Josh came on, then P. Mars started saying he doesn't agree with Dr. Josh's interpretation of the Old Testament on slavery.
Right.
P. Mars says that the Bible does not condone slavery, and it condones the good slavery only. So
the good slavery. It's like a works program.
It does not condone slavery, and it condones the good slavery, both at the same time. You might think that's a contradiction, but it's not, because their God can be his own father and his own son, and that's not so they don't really care.
But that's normal Christian, whatever. They've always been apologists for slavery, unfortunately. What got him banned was because after we started talking about this, he rage quit. And then he rejoined in chat and started screaming
racial epithets.
Yes, he went down the alphabet and he stopped on the letter N.
Yeah.
And he just started screaming things. And so that gets banned.
This is and he had been talked about why he uses this word that so many people justifiably find offensive and inappropriate. He's trying to reclaim the word, and that's so.
Not interested in those type of apologists.
Yeah, right. Well,
that's
why,
one form
man?
of apologetics we don't tolerate on the channel.
You have something that you know is going to really offend people, and you understand why it's going to offend people. You just do it just to get the reaction. But he was also that stream, if you remember, it was about the Pharaoh, and that he said that the God did not harden Pharaoh's heart. And Amy pulled up the Bible and read like all the passages where God did harden his heart. And he said no.
5 times.
That's a misinterpretation. Times. What happened was the Pharaoh hardened his own heart, and then God came after Pharaoh already hardened his heart, and then God hardened his heart. But the thing is that if Pharaoh's heart was already hardened, why would God have to go harden his heart? If he wasn't going to let the slaves go no matter what, why would God have to go in there and do anything to it? The only reason God would do that is if maybe he would have let the slaves go, but God didn't want him to let him go. So God made sure that he wasn't going to let him go because God was having so much fun fucking with the people of Egypt and raining death, destruction, and misery and suffering down on the people who had no political power. They had no ability, no say in the status of the Hebrews. They couldn't have let him go if they wanted to, but it doesn't matter. God was having fun making their lives miserable. And God was not going to have his party come to an end by like the Pharaoh just saying, okay, you can go, get out of here. Like, what? I don't get to do more plagues. I don't get to kill all the firstborn. I mean, I was really looking forward to he wanted to kill the firstborn. So God made sure he was going to get to do that.
Also, I just want to make a comment. Well, I would normally show comments up on screen, but tonight we are showing only comments from our super chatters, our Patreons and channel members. However, I do just want to say that I got some skeletons in my closet. I don't know if no one knows it, so before they throw me inside my coffin and close it, expose it. Let's take you back to 73. Okay. No, I agree. Like, in that everyone has shit. The difference, I actually say, between me and other people. Well, no one's perfect, but I also think you have like 2 ways to live when you are a content creator on the internet. And that is, you either hide a lot of your personal life or you just give everything away. And as a stand-up, I like to think I just take the latter. And so there is a reason. I didn't just randomly buy this. So I came out of the closet, and it's actually been fantastic ever since. Da 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 da.
Well, there are some YouTube users out there who don't use either their first or last name, and they hide behind an avatar. They will never show their face on camera, and it's funny. Like, when we had one of those particular individuals who hides behind an avatar in here, making comments about people's appearance, and I just wouldn't respond to it at all because this person refuses to let anybody know how they look. They hide behind an avatar, so we're not going to entertain those kind of comments. If you want to hide yourself, hide yourself.
And I'm trying to think of the joke for spirituality.
Regos, they were I think already off. Maybe he would put pants on for Halloween. Nobody would recognize him. It's like, Gavin, you dressed up as like a regular pants wearing human today.
That's right. And if you're wearing a skirt, you don't have to wear pants at all.
Well, being it's Gavin, probably women's underwear, but that's fine.
My.
No king shaming
Not
around
that there's
here.
anything wrong with that. I'm going to really channel all my norm.
There you go.
And so, ladies and gents, we got 15 more minutes. This is your time to shine, which means we're going to do the verbal shout out. We have been, I keep on saying it. We want to thank our supporters like Oz from the Atheist Network Group. Woo!
Thanks, Oz.
Hashtag Tank Gang. Woo! Who you should be checking out at youtube.com/The Atheist Network Group. Tang does amazing non-believer content connecting atheists, shouting love to the queen of production, Jena. Shane the Skeptic was just on with us the other night. So sending love to Oz. He does fantastic things. He does DJing. He also does street epistemology. I am about to
singles out on Spotify. Check it out.
And hopefully we should be next on Spotify ourselves. You have to have an app and do all this shit. You can't just have an account. You have to do stuff. But yes, we're going to be on Spotify and all sorts of fun stuff. We're growing, baby. Thank you, Oz. Thank you, Pornhub, everything. OnlyFans. Sending love to grumpy old Cuss, reminding us that religion kind of makes us go, what the are we listening to?
Fucked up shit.
Totally a hypocrite. I know. I like this. I'm a total hypocrite. I don't stand for it, but I do. I agree.
Oh, does he have a full album out, Regos? Because he had the singles up. Let me check my Spotify for Oz's.
Devil's Night. I dig the name. That's true. It also is hard to be banned if we can see you. He's like, but it's the one account that I had the credit.
He has, but I don't know. Huh.
I don't know. I still want to know why. That would be why.
There it is. Devil's Night, the full album. There it is. Whoa.
Came out yesterday. He did a show on Gurr Streams. Shout out to Gurr. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, we were at the wedding all day yesterday, so I was not following too much. All the way down in Miami.
Going to Miami. Yeah. I should do something on LinkedIn. I feel like I have a LinkedIn, but I just haven't done anything with it. You can actually stream to LinkedIn. It's just like, I don't know why, but maybe I should.
Stream to, hey, we're on,
get some CEOs out there.
Elon Musk vision. Twitter.
That's right. We're on Twitter. I feel bad for Twitter and Elon Musk. I feel like both of those people did not want that acquisition, but they're doing it anyway because they're both stuck.
They're stuck with it. Yeah, they're both stuck with it.
Whew. Yo, they make a lot of money though. This podcast has made more money than Twitter has made in profit this year. But good luck.
Well, give it a chance. I mean, who knows?
Give it a chance.
We'll see what happens.
Nothing bad has ever come from Twitter, so I feel like that's good.
Nothing bad.
I love that we're roasting it while we're on Twitter. Oh my God, that's okay. We're sending look. YouTube sends so much love to us. We can't help it. Even Twitch, which has been a grind, we've been chipping away. But even
our way up there.
Rub our back a little bit. We put enough calamine lotion.
Do they give us enough blue?
Feels good. Yes, I don't think we've gotten a paycheck yet, but it's been exciting. We're an affiliate trying to work our way up to partnership. Exciting. Let's rub it lower, baby. Okay, here. No lower. No lower. All right, right there. Keep going. Feels good. But 10 more minutes, ladies and gentlemen, to send us questions, comments, or one-liners. Whew, dyed my hair back to its normal color, which is a funny thing to say, but when it's like unnormal for half and normal for half, feels good though. Might do highlights, I could just feel like the suburbanite mom slowly taking over. Looks goth and punk now, but the more highlights you get, the more you just become a Karen. I'm going to end up speaking to someone's manager by the end of the year. Fucking terrible. Right. I have to upload emojis into Twitch. The Twitch should be able to use those same emojis. That's what I need to do. Because they have emojis in Flare. I should not only...
37 pieces of Flare?
Yeah, because not only can you have like the badge system and emojis and that, but like you can have separate tiers of membership. I need to really... And you get Flare. You have like wings that come out and stuff. What is up, Reservoir Guar? Can have animated emotes also. Well, all right, we need to get on that because I can see I can actually. Sometimes you can't always see the emotes, but I can actually see Poopykin's emoji right there, which is always exciting. And I love emojis. I've been trying to think because I'm like one away. I have 3 emojis that are in the docket that are being made, but you need like an order of 5. And so I've been trying to think, like I am getting a thick earth emoji. Like I'm pretty sure it's going to be an earth with a thick ass. Like there's no other way to say it because why not?
Yeah, I noticed the same thing too, Pookie. Amy is only doing the minimum amount of Flare. Now, what do you think about Amy, somebody who only does the bare minimum? When
minimum Flare.
You could be like Tasha over there, who has 47 pieces of Flare on her Twitch account.
Need 47 pieces. I do believe that.
So, more Flare? Well, I mean,
Flare?
we want you to express yourself, Amy. But we do encourage you to do more. But it depends. Yeah. Your little cottontail.
I need to Flare. Can see in chat, but don't work on screen. Hey, it's actually working on screen for whatever reason. YouTube, the custom emojis don't tend to work on screen, but they're just fun to pin and show and create.
Thanks, Udef. Yeah,
it's true. Well, I feel like I need to get a little bit.
Lost her feather duster, and if it looks like Gavin's getting ready to shit out feathers,
he'll know why. Yeah. Exactly. He walks around with a little tail. That's
bunny tail of feathers poofed out.
This is me expressing myself. Good. We're glad. This is us ranting and being us, and this is you to Upside Down Guy being him. He's sending us a super sticker of an upside down guy. It's a guy like this.
Is that a guy?
Like do the head upside down. I can't really put my head fully upside down.
I thought it was a cat.
Is it a cat?
Looks like a cat.
You little yellow dude. Could be a cat. Oh no, that's his icon. You're looking at the icon. The icon is most certainly.
Oh, okay. All
right.
Icon. Yeah, there you go.
But yes. But the actual super sticker is an upside down. Thank you so very much, Upside. There you go. You are most definitely a part of the Skeptic and Ranting community here. Yeah. There you go. Paid member. No, really, it helps so much because we have been getting all of this, like I said, new graphics to get new shows. We're about to be running a whole bunch of both live and premiered. And then I want to get creative and comical. I want to start getting some shows that teach people how to do podcasts and teach people how to. I'm going to do one a James Cameron breakdown on Avatar. on why on how to use mythic structure and use
Suck
his
cock figuratively.
Hey,
on camera.
everyone rags on James Cameron until he releases a movie, and then when he releases a movie, everyone spends the next like 3 to 6 months watching it obsessively, and then by the end of the year, everyone's back to hating on him. And but I mean, I just have to say, James Cameron does not what James Cameron does for James Cameron. James Cameron does what James Cameron does because James Cameron is James Cameron. It's true. Sending that love right back at Doubting Thomas. And sending it to all of our supporters. Thank you so very much, Upside Down Guy, for being upside down, sending your that lovely, cute Upside Down Guy, and we're sending that love right back. Boo, boo.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Sir, it's being recorded. I want to get another show. I mean, the problem is I really need to do heavy-duty research into how to really pull a team off. But I would like myself, Mark Reid, and one other person. I'm trying to remember to do scam baiting. Because Mark is another networking guy. It's not that I just want skeptics.
He likes that stuff too, scam baiting.
Yeah, and so I just need people who have a background in technology of some sort.
I think skepticism has a bit to play in that, you know. I mean, being skeptical of what people are telling you on the phone.
100%. You know? Well, I agree. It has to be both. But I agree. No, they have to be because if they're a non-skeptic, then they're just gonna fall for shit, and it's just trolling at that point. Thank you so very much, Upside Down Guy. Another 99 cent, another $1. Ooh.
Making it rain.
I was gonna say putting another $1 right down here
because he wanted this comment to be read. There you go. That's why he
it seems to fall.
Your lip ring, Amy.
You know what about my lip ring?
It has a smell.
Amy's lip ring smells like Fumdana. Help me out here. Fumanda cheese.
Fumanda.
Amy's lip ring smells like cheese. Hopefully not. I do use mouthwash and brush my teeth, which is a very important thing. My dentist was actually worried when I first got it because he was like, this is going to keep on hitting your tooth, but it's at a location that does not concede with my dental apparatus. Some people call teeth. Sir. But yeah, thank you so very much, Upside Down Guy. I forget that they exist. My joke, I actually love that I have my piercings because I think people stereotype me and I use that to my advantage because I just look a certain way. People typecast me. I look like I'm trying to be punky and gothic and stuff. In a way, I guess I like, I like black clothing and stuff like that. I like rock music and all that. But I don't see myself as like, I don't know. I have a partner that views themselves as a goth, but and they are very much goth. I wear colors. They're the fact that Paige is goth. Paige is like the slave of Rachel and mine.
You guys, you're a slave.
What? I didn't say anything. I don't know.
Never heard it.
But
Hi, Paige.
I would also say that I kind of forget the nose ring. I got the nose ring out of a dare. I got the friend, Tori, sending love. Thank you so much, Tori, who wanted to get a nose ring. And she said, go with me get a nose ring. I can't get my nose ring until you do. And then she kind of chickened out at the last second, and then I got a nose ring. Though I think she ended up getting a stud. I got a stud too, but I pulled it out with a loofah. Oh my god. It actually wasn't that painful, but it was just a crappy situation. Because it's just a tiny hole. That's what she said. Trying to think of what other fun things to say, because we are about to close up for the hay.
You having a feedback.
Oh, the one last thing about being typecast. I played a game once on a Sending Love to Alex Falcone. He's a fantastic YouTuber. He's a comedian. Well, first and foremost, he's a comedian. He's been on the Colbert Report. He is. I saw him on Cameo. He has the Cameo set up now, and he's a comedy teacher as well. And so he had a game where when he is introducing people, we play the 2 truths and a lie. And I knew which one my truth was and which one my lie was. Well, something was a throwaway. But my truth was that I like Nickelback. I continue to like Nickelback. I will stand by that. And my lie was that I have been going to theater since I was 10 years old. And I think, and most of the people, and I think Alex even was I think he was like, well, maybe this is the year that Nickelback makes a comeback. I think he was making a joke. But I played right into it. Because most people do not want to admit they like Nickelback, even though they're a popular band. They're hated because they make platinum albums, ladies and gentlemen. Udolph is like, no,
that doesn't mean anything.
Nickelback.
I mean, for God's sakes, Bruno Mars sells albums. I mean, selling albums doesn't mean you have any talent or ability.
I get you. Well, it does mean someone likes you, though, right? As I spread,
$5 sticker from Upside Down guy. Well, really.
Oh, and yes, so sending so much love, saying bravo.
We came into this stream.
Thank you so very much.
I hate to complain, but it's been a rough month. But this really helped out. So we appreciate it.
And I think we've been learning how to tune our shows and things like that. But because it's been great content, it's been great views, and we've been getting new people on board. But yes, so we're learning. But sending so much love with a poop emojis. Thank you so very much, Upside Down guy, for all the love, for putting this, like I said, right down there. We could not be more happy. But yeah, welcome back completely.
Buddhist,
welcome back completely skeptical. Completely skeptic. I'm sending so much love, really, because I know it must be hard when going through these are the hardest questions. Who else? We're just gonna go through the list. We're sending love to Grumpy Cuss, to Diana Smith. Thank you so very much, Diana Smith, reminding us that religions don't really treat 51% of the other gender that amazing. They kind of get a little treating them like chattel.
Amy would have no hands left if the Bible were followed.
And I would even push back. So, because I respect a lot of things on all those. My thing would be just think about what is it that makes you respect Orthodox, whatever, and just respect those qualities. That's going to be what saves you. What saves me, what saves everybody. Because I always find when I used to blanket just attack conservatism, that it used to actually be a vulnerability. Because I actually value what I think. If you listen to what conservatives say, they're like, just give us lip service to some of the things that we find important. We just don't think you talk about them. Talk about family. Talk about tradition. Talk about community. These are the things that we find important, that we find value in. I think family is one of the most important things in life. And I'll tell you why, because that word is such a fucking PR word most of the time. People just say family, 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 family. Like that's just an easy word. But family is really a deeper word, because family is really nitty gritty. It's who we're born into, but it's also who becomes part of that tribe, who becomes part of that inner circle. A lot of times, one biological person will fall away, and you'll have multiple take their spot. You form a tribe. I'm very metaphorically blessed to have parents that are amazing, to have an amazing family, just brother, sister-in-law, nieces, and nephews who are my family by blood, but because they were there for me when they needed me, when I needed them most, and that I hope I can be there for them. But then there are people that have no blood, that are completely my tribe. It is who is important to you, and they
She is using the tribe word just to be triggering.
Well, can I tell you, I learned that from them too. From the people that hate the Jews. I never heard them called a tribe from anyone but them. Because they don't think like that. They really don't. Like my parents, like they think they're part of the community bake sale more than they think that they're a tribe of Judah. Like it's just in the real world, like it just, the logistics of all that shit fall apart. People care way more about their Netflix password.
Say again, sir.
Sir. Would be still Jewish, sir. Would still be if it didn't bite off too much. Storm, sorry. So I am not circumcised. Not to get TMI, but you know, since you're the one that's doing it,
he's asking, and he's very
asking.
He's interested in it.
I am a hermaphrodite. The politically correct term now is intersex. A lot of religious fundamentalists, when I tell this, then go, "Oh, you're just saying that because every transgender says
you're
it."
You're a Baphomet.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you're a Baphomet. I'm sending love to that person too. I can't even hate them because they provide me with so much.
I thought you were saying sending love to Baphomet.
Sending love to Baphomet. I have a Baphomet doll on the way. Because they have talked about Baphomet.
Oh, so cuddly.
It is a cute, cuddly Baphomet. Just like this. Bubbles convinced me to get a fucking Ouija board, and they don't come even now anymore. But I'm glad I have my Ouija board. Oh, they are? Oh, no wonder. Speaking of people banned, that doesn't surprise me. And then I'm going to have a lovely Bahamut. And, baloney, Amy, your flaps aren't natural. I didn't have surgery. I'm not getting surgery. And yes, I have flaps. My flaps are natural. Flaps are natural. I can open my genitals. If
getting
you
surgery,
can't,
she's too attached to that girl deck to get rid of it. I mean, yeah.
I can't help it. Because this is what happened. They bring it on themselves. Most transgenders aren't intersex. Or maybe a lot are. Who knows? Maybe a decent portion are. I haven't checked every trannies.
You haven't sucked
genitals.
every tranny dick out there?
Yeah,
Not yet.
or went down on every trans man yet to find out. But I'm working on it.
You're working on it. One day, goals.
One day at a time. Rachel and I can only go to so many swinger bars. I don't know what to tell you. We're gonna keep on going down the list. We Jerb, and then we're closing out for the night. But it's been fun. Sending love to Diana Smith. Sending love to Pat Lowinger. Woo! Sending love to Pat.
Thanks,
he
Pat.
does many fantastic content throughout many different channels on the interwebs. I need to get him back on. He can do more Talk Skeptic. Though if you're a Patreon or a decent channel member, you get access to your own TV show. I will host for you. Gizmo will work the backstage. I'll host. And you just talk about any subject you have expertise or academic experience in. We're looking for academics, or if you actually have technical experience, we'll take that. So, yeah. Sending love to Pat Lowinger. Sending love to Dale Pastel, just looking for a little bit of empirical evidence. Same with us. The creationists kind of scuff every time that we talk for empirical evidence. Why are we even talking if you're just going to ask for empirical evidence?
What's the last 5 digits? Who is there with you?
Yeah, you're going to need a much higher donation to get that backstage to that flap stage. Let me tell you. But we appreciate all the love and support. Don't get me wrong. We're really sending the love. We're sending the love. You really have been nice to us. We hope we're being nice to you. But also sending love to Dale Pastel and Dave Gar. Dave Gar reminding us the world is indeed round. I don't know what else to say besides it's a thick ass earth. Got that booty. Not a pizza. But also sending love.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. The laws of logic, tautologies. Sending love to Scott Duke.
Pocket balls.
What? Now you're talking my name.
There you go.
Sending love to Scott Duke, reminding us that we are other animals. The fact that we are other animals triggers out of creationists, especially young Earth creationists. It's flat like Amy's. Oh, yeah. Listen, I have almost to be there, okay? Almost to be, okay? Come on. All right?
It's
okay?
like, what were you saying before that?
You. They're not stacked. What?
He's disappointed, upside down guy.
He's disappointed. Though I hope I gave you something for all that tip money right there. I feel like I'm trying. I know. I would still try to work at Hooters, but the shirt might not fall right out. Though I will say one of the funniest things, like when I was thank you. When I was transitioning, I would put my finger under my chest every day and rub up until I hit a bump. And the moment I won him over, James. I won him over. Yes.
I think I think he's getting. There's something coming up on him. Something getting a rise.
You can feel it. It may not be up, but you could feel it just like shifting. That's all I needed. Booty. That's right. Bootyism. I completely forgot what I'm talking about. Sending so much love. What's up, Rocky? Good morning.
Good morning.
Or good evening, depending on whoever is listening or where you're listening. Boing. That's right. Hopefully, we aim to please on this podcast. Like I said, I feel like James is the one who worked on his eyes the most tonight.
Oh. I'll tell you what. You do a lot of work.
But also sending
Thanks,
love
guys.
to Scott Duke, to sending love
Scott.
to Regos. Woo!
Well, that's what I was
Regos
gonna
was
say.
sending us a lot of love tonight. He was saying hi. We're saying hi back.
Hey, Reid. That's what I was gonna say. They don't like that we're animals. They definitely don't like that we're apes. They're okay with us being mammals. That's not a big deal. Or primates. Primates. That's where there's a problem.
But can we talk about how that is also now going
It
to be
doesn't make any sense.
That has to be our new thing.
That's
because
gotta
it's
be a thing.
Animal, definitely not. Primate, no way. But mammal, oh yeah, we're definitely we're all
cares?
mammals.
Yeah, of course we're mammals. It goes without saying. Of course we're mammals. I mean, yeah, but that
We
is
can't
just,
be like a lizard.
that mammal is like smack dab in the center of like the classification list. Like they don't agree with the above, they don't agree with the below. The middle is okay. Whatever.
It kind of makes no sense. It's just because no one brings it up. Literally, I think that's why. So hopefully we keep on bringing it up now.
I'm working
so
on it,
that other
upside
people
down guy.
know.
It's coming along. I'll tell you what.
I fat shame and gay shame. I wanted it to be completely upside down, but like, it would be interesting to like straight shame. I have been whatever the opposite is of misogynistic to guys before. I try not to be. Like, just want to like whistle. Shame, Amy. Shame. For shame. Yes, but here's the thing. What if you're into that? So like now you're just, just flattering.
Well, I mean, Amy gets paid good money to shame guys.
That's right, baby.
What's the going rate to get kicked in the balls by a trainee?
Listen, we can work something out.
There you go.
Though it is an amazing the things that I have done for money, and that the fact that is one of them, I will say that is the greatest stack of cash that you can imagine. You want me to hit you? Where? Okay, sure.
You're gonna pay me? Here we go.
And some people have some tough junk. Like you can really go to town down there with your knee, which you would not think. But hey, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a labor of love, I'll tell you.
It's a labor of love. Speaking of which, sending love to someone who genitals we love. Thank you so much, Regos. Thank you so much, Scott, Dave Gar, and all this. And whose genitals I very much love. Sending so much love to Rachel Holland.
Oh, all about those genitals.
Sending so much love to the fabulous, wonderful, and amazing
Thanks,
Rachel. Is sending that so much love back and reminding that yes. Yeah, non-consensual slavery, kind of not a cool thing. No, not really at all. Kind of makes me want to get them on their knees. Because we don't kink shame here. But going around to other nations with like a sword or an axe and trying to just take women and children, kind of not cool.
Kind of a dick move, but I mean, if you're God,
that's right. If you're God, you can do that.
You can flood the whole world, kill everybody.
Though once again, there is only one person or a group of people you should worship, and that's your partner. Do. So sending love, Rachel. Sending love to Senator Cato.
Cato.
Boom, 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 boom. Reminding us of the separation of church and state. Is as most important now as it will ever be and will continue to be, because the theocrats are always trying to try and get their fingers into all the different pots.
It'll be all right.
Okay, Upside Down, I love you, but like I'm starting to understand why Titan may have, I handle those questions. I love them, so we'll just whatever. But like most JOOs, the Jews view themselves as white and are white colloquially, because it is a social thing. And I know that triggers, because they're like, no, they're shapeshifters. They're white when they want to be and Jewish when they want to be. That would be like Christian when they want to be and white when they want to be. And I guess you could make a thing for that, but then Muslim when you want to be and white when they want to be. It's all the same.
Male when you want to be, female when you want to be.
Or it would be like male when you want to be and Christian when you want to be. It's like the two are not mutually exclusive. In fact, the reason, this is just my opinion, but the reason that white Christians hate Jews, a specific branch, because most actually white Christians actually don't care about Jews. There's three types of people that care about Jews. Jews, the people who hate Jews, and Muslims. This is the three people who care who is a Jew. The people who hate Jews tend to be this type of white Christian, and I think they hate Jews because they're a white minority. They're a minority and they're white and they're like they don't. We try to like talk about IQ and stuff, and they don't fit that description. In fact, in some cases, they may actually have higher IQs than, and so they're like. They're kind of a thorn in the side of the white nationalist, the racial realist, because they have a bunch of positive stereotypes that they don't want to play towards. How many years ago did you transition? I am. See, I don't like to give the specifics because of my cybersecurity background. But it was in my early 20s and I am in my 30s, so over a decade. Which is crazy. A decade.
It's been quite a while, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing I always try and tell people, especially the fundies, is that to me, being transgender is boring. Like, it would be honestly like James were spending podcasts talking about being a male. Like, I'm sure James could do it. Like, he is a guy. I'm sure there's things he could talk about that guys have issues about. But I feel like
when your balls itch and you just got to scratch them, and then maybe they itch and you still have to scratch them later, and then. When you're outside and you're working and they kind of sweat a lot and you got to shower. And I mean, kind of mundane shit, to be honest.
Yeah. And like, I feel like you could talk about it for maybe like an hour, maybe a podcast, but like.
No flaps.
I feel like after that, it might lose steam. I feel the same way for being transgender. I talk about it to get it because it's part of my life, to get it out of the way, but mostly because religious people are getting obsessed with people's genitals, and so you have to talk about it just to get there. Did I celebrate Yom Kippur? Yes, my family are secular Jews. My dad probably does not give a shit either way. My dad celebrates every single touchdown. Did we fast? I do not think so. No. We did for like in synagogue and stuff for like that maybe.
And then you went home and ate bacon.
But then yeah. But my mom still celebrates every Yom Kippur. She still tells me a Happy New Year. I don't know if she does. She may do a dinner, but like she just celebrates it by like instead of going to Applebee's, she'll go to like I was gonna say Red Lobster, but wouldn't that be ironic? But basically, instead of Applebee's, she goes to Outback Steak. It's a fancy day. It's Yom Kippur. It's like, okay, whatever. Like they are the atypical American Jews. They are so American that just nothing else matters. Like my mom seriously would be more excited about a sale at Marshall's or TJ Maxx, Kohl's, than she ever would about Yom Kippur. Like she's happy. She knows that it exists and she tells me and stuff. Applebee's isn't fancy enough. So Applebee's I always see as like the atypical, like that's the middle America. It's not a Waffle House, okay? I'm not saying Applebee's is a Waffle House. It's got standards, okay? You got your shoes on. I'm just which doesn't always happen in a Waffle House. Whether or not you should or have to. Oh, look at this. Pookykins is saying I'm showing my bias. Yo, I used to work for Applebee's. That was one of my one of my first jobs, at least a mid-range. One of my last jobs as a guy, probably the last jobs as a guy, and that was working at Applebee's. I got pulled into the manager's office and told I better not, because I was semi out at the time, but I was told. I liked working there. It was a good place. I love Applebee's food. It should be 2 for $22, ladies and gentlemen. 2 for $22. Do you see how that flows? No more. It's like I'm sitting here trying to say that bubblegum's 20 fun cents. I know. Whatever. I don't know. What can I say? It is a Waffle House. I love Waffle House too. Look, there's a time and a place for a Waffle House, and that is generally after a lot of tequila. We're going down the list. Our supporters. That's the theme of the show. Rachel Holland, Senator Cato, James Wolfe. James Wolfe is a Patreon channel member. So he's in everything. He's also I was gonna say geologist, but that's Beamsy. He's an anthropologist, I believe.
Or archaeologist, one of the two.
Archaeologist. He is an archaeologist. No, you're absolutely right. He's an archaeologist. He does what actual scientists do instead of creationists, which is just yell things loudly on the internet. Which is also what we do, except they wish Kent Hovind would just be a comedian instead of just making comedy. But sending love to
he's
James.
A serious scientist when he's doing gravity experiments.
That's right. Yo. There was a piece of me for a half second. It would have been, but I thought that almost did I have just been a Kent Hovind gravity experiment wife for a Halloween costume, and I thought against my better judgment and just went for being a maid. But I've been lying if I didn't say that thought didn't
show
cross
yourself
my
like
mind.
in bandages and
black eye.
the neck brace, black eye.
Oh my God! It's always next year, James. There's always next year.
Well, if you remember what I wanted last year, I wanted you on April Fool's to come out as a flat earther.
Oh, that would have been good, or a creationist. Maybe. Like I said, I couldn't quite see the funny side of some of the jokes that you make until it happens to me. I will now always put children just straight on hormones, like right out of the uterus. Like basically out of the uterus hormones.
Reductio ad absurdum, it's like...
Why even start them as kids when you can start them as infants? Or in the womb, just estrogen right into the womb.
Like prenatal vitamins for the parents, that way,
Exactly.
Yeah. Make sure that sperm is very high estrogen sperm.
As all Western men should be.
Well, I mean, we've got the fluoride in the water and the toothpaste. I mean, that's probably demasculating.
Well,
as
it also it
is,
sprinkles down from the trail.
the
You get the
chemtrails,
chem right out there, and it trails down.
right, definitely.
But sending love to James Wolfe and sending love, a big sending love to Ian Davenport. Boom, 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 boom. Reminding us that the heart does not look like a watch. I'm sorry, but I also saw a joke recently.
The watch doesn't even look like the watch.
A camel looks like a horse voted on via committee. Which I just thought was a funny joke. Udif says a maid is better. I do. I agree. It is. I like to think I'm getting things done. Like to clean house of apologetics. I love the clickety clack of the nails, or of the heels. It's what I miss so much of acrylics. I stopped ever since I've been doing jujitsu. I stopped because I don't want to take someone's eye out. I have stopped having acrylic nails, but I love the clickety clack of long nails.
We already told them why she doesn't have her feather duster with her. It's in use right now. Yes,
exactly. Gavin and Iron, who I call my pantsless twins, they both have tails, and so the feather dusters are in good. Yes, exactly. They're not quite furries, but they do have tails.
They're working on it.
Getting there. Sending love to Ian Davenport.
Ian.
The king of the Facebook community as well. We're on dual Facebooks, ladies and gentlemen. We're on my personal page. We're on the Skeptic and Ranting community on Facebook. We are on OnlyFans. Go out there, having so much fun.
Cockandballs.
That's right. Use that web, baby. But sending so much love to Ian Davenport. And last, but certainly not least, the universe in the palm of your hands, or really just a galaxy, because we actually know how to make galaxies and planets and large bodies like suns. Or when I say exactly, and when I say us, I mean the scientific community knows how they form.
Start with the deity. He whips out his Poofinator 6000, and there you go. Poof
exactly.
Universe. Poof animals. Poof whip. Oh, Amy, could you pick that up again? I don't think they got to see you. There you go.
Gotta get something nice
Make
and
sure
high.
they see it all, yeah.
That's right. But yes, thank you to all of the people who have sent in super chats tonight. All of our Patreons,
channel members,
Twitch members, of Twitch, of YouTube. Thank you. All of our subscribers and viewers have been sticking around with us. It's made possible because of you guys. After the show, the Skeptic and Ranting Discord server will be opening up. The link of which
I would love to go. But...
And I'm going to send that in there too, and I'll say that once more at the end. Grease lightning, go grease lightning. America, yeah. But yes, Gizmo. Oh my gosh, Gizmo's so cute.
The dog.
And Gizmo wants to be on too.
He knows the show's about to end, so he's.
And I didn't get to do my because I have been. It is Halloween. And so I did want to just have a visit and say that old Pennywise just wants to remember it's okay, Georgie. We all float down here. Oh, yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do. It's okay. We want to thank you all for joining us. What's that?
Say again, sir. Cat cameos.
Sir?
There you go. That's
We
the
had cat cameos.
benefit we have.
It's okay, cat cameo.
And I'm just looking. I think you heard the prank cat
Think that's
Howard
it?
Stern parents criticizing their children. We'll have a vagina. Oh, I hear. Speaking of cats, so I hear a baby girl who wants food. I'm gonna snatch her up
Penelope.
so that I can show her on camera.
Oh, hi.
Penelope, say hi.
Where's Moonlight?
Yeah, Moonlight's out there somewhere. He has become quite adventurous. Oh, let me keep on working on my Pennywise. I cannot help it. That's my real voice. No, I have actually just fallen in love with it. I mean, Pennywise is basically an SCP. Like, if you just look on his backstory and all this, he's basically a demigod and all this type of thing. And he has all these sorts of powers, supernatural powers. He just looks like a clown because many of the children fear clowns in it.
But I don't want to hurt you. That'd be so silly, Georgie. No, Georgie. We all float down here.
Comes up in the Dark Tower. Comes up. They cross. He cross pollinates in a lot of his things. Like I said, the god figure is a turtle. It is the father turtle figure that spewed out the universe. And this is it that we're talking about, but really what we're talking, it's the Stephen King larger universe. Oh, thank you so much. You're sending that. I do. I'd like to think so. I like to think of us as clowns, to be honest with you. Sending love to Max, another fantastic YouTuber. If I can send love to Alex Foucault, to Matt. In fact, James, you might like him. He's fantastic. He does a lot of improv, but he also does a lot of great character work where he does Pennywise, does
Penelope's in position.
Kermit. He does Saw.
You might get pounced on any moment.
Channel ban. No, you're not gonna get channel banned from me unless you break the TOS. If I see you break the TOS, I will. Because they're the only things we go, because we want to hold our politically incorrect cards, unless it's the FCC trying to take us down, which doesn't exist on the YouTubes, but the TOS guys.
She was gonna jump, but she gave
trying
up.
her new bowls. And I might open Cat TV for her in a second, but
Thanks, everybody.
I hope that you all had a fun episode on this episode of Ask Me Anything or Say Something Funny, the show where we ask our supporters to send in their comments, questions, or best one-liners through Super Chats, channel membership, or Patreon support. And I hope that everyone had a Halloweeny of fun. Welcome back,
James.
James.
We're
still
running out
partying.
the door. We're running out the door.
Though I do want to thank my co-host James W, along with all of our guests, our supporters out there on the interwebs, as well as all of the amazing people in chat, our awesome mods who make this stream so great, and of course, lovely viewers like you who make this channel even possible. If you enjoy the show, please don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. Woo-hoo! Or hey, maybe Twitter,
Woo-hoo.
Facebook, eventually LinkedIn. Who knows? if you could also set that bell icon to all, sir. You could also set that bell icon to all to get reminders to see our premieres. We have a whole bunch of new shows. If you are a channel member or a Patreon, you have access to our first interview of Skeptic on the Street, which is out live right now. We're waiting on the graphics and the
you put up
intro and outro.
Right?
To be, yes, the channel members have the first interview, and then the first show is going to go live, all fancy for our just viewers and subscribers. But if you also would like to join our live stream, that is also a way to get reminders by hitting that bell icon. You can also see all of our after the show's open, the after show is going to be unlocked at our Skeptic and Ranting Discord server, the link of which is in the description below, along with all of our fantastic channel members. You can also become a Patreon, which is the best way to help us create even more fun content by heading down to patreon.com/Amy Newman. I am Amy Newman.
Good night, guys.
And
thank you.
We will see you all on the next adventure of Skeptic Ball Z. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Mwah. Ooh, hoo, hoo, ha, 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 ha.
Very scary.
Ah.